man. Anthony, we know what that music's all about right there.
We back, baby.
Yes, we are back for episode 2 of the Red Pill Phone Tap. I hope everybody out there in listening land, come on, everybody, get up. Let's go. It's episode 2.
Get
Let's
on
go.
Your feet.
Come on now. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you to all of our listeners this week. A lot of great feedback from people this week. Anthony, you've got some great feedback.
Yeah.
I'm just now noticing that we did not have that on our queue. We're going to add that live. Hey, listen, we can improve on the fly. We're talented. We can do this.
Of course.
I am Wesley, here with the other host. There are no co-hosts on this show, my friend. Anthony, how's your week gone, man? How you been doing?
I've been stupendous, man. Working hard. Finally, I was looking forward to this, though. The end of the week. Looking forward to Red Pill Talk.
Yeah, and it's always good to help out our listeners, too. And let's jump right into this. Because for any of you guys out in the Red Pill community, you may have saw or listened to an amazing YouTube broadcast by our someone that we're both a fan of, Donovan Sharp. And if you guys have not looked at his YouTube channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button on that guy because he's out here doing the Lord's work, isn't he, Anthony?
Yes, he is.
Anthony, this week, my jaw was dropped wide open, and I realized that I must have had a blue pill flu, and because I still had some blue pill things inside.
Blue pill residue, huh?
Blue pill residue, yeah. I need to go and
Clean that up.
I need to take a red pill shower. Well, and you know, let's get into it because that's what I think I did is I took a red pill shower, and what that was about. The show this week from Donovan Sharp. That show was about do not date single mothers. And Anthony, you and I came into this. Really two different guys coming into this podcast. Now, my mouth was just completely dropped open, and we've got an amazing clip to play from the show this week. Donovan Sharp, if you ever don't want us to play a clip on the show, please email us, and all of our listeners, please email us at redpillphonetap@gmail.com. Our email address is redpillphonetap@gmail.com. Again, I came into this with my mouth open. I realized that I still have to digest the red pill a little bit more. Anthony, you've kind of been, you and I have had conversations about this where you've shared this opinion for quite a while. And I'll tell you, man, that was, to me, just the title of his YouTube live show was shocking to me. It just said, just say no to single mothers. And you know what I did? I did what most blue pill and most women do. Immediately my mind just kind of said, hey, that's mean.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's mean.
Yeah.
Which is one of the major weapons that the feminist community has, right? That's how they silence us. That's how they get us kicked off Twitter. That's how they get us kicked off YouTube. He's mean, so we're going to cancel him, and he doesn't get to talk and have the conversation at the table anymore.
Yeah, they sing emotions over facts. And if they will listen to the facts versus how the facts make them feel, then I would listen to a logical response to what we're saying, and we'll get into that.
Well, Anthony, let's jump right into where you and I both started from. Now, we'll get into where I kind of came in, but you came into his show a lot different with a lot different opinion. How did you feel about, and you're still out in the dating world, How did you feel about dating single mothers before you even listened to Donovan Sharp go into this?
Yeah, before I was even red pilled, my experiences with dating single mothers came with having to deal with demands just because they had children. And fine, I was like, yeah, okay, this is
That sounds fair, right?
You got kids, they come first, this and that. So, okay, I'll listen to what you will expect, or you're telling me what I should expect when it comes to dating you as a single mom. And in my blue pill days, I conceded. I said, okay, I'll deal with these rules. But in my red pill view, I saw that now not only do I have to come with rules, these rules, you didn't have these rules before you had this kid. Otherwise,
this would have never happened.
Yeah. So I kind of said, okay, there's some adjustments I need to make, even in my approach with them. Now, I'll say this too. I knew, even blue pill, that this was going to be some easy access because, hey, I know you got kids, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that sex was going to be an easy accomplishment in dating you, and that even though you have rules, quote unquote, once I get you alone, I know that's what I'm gonna get, and I don't have to work as hard.
Yeah. Well, how did you go from blue pill Anthony that notices that there's some obstacles with dating single moms, this thought process of like, oh, this is going to be low-hanging fruit sexually, right? How did you go from that to? Am I right in assuming you do not entertain getting into relationships with single mothers, right?
I don't. And
how'd you go from blue pill Anthony over here to now?
So, I did thought it was okay to be under this blanket of rules and commands, because I'm thinking that, hey, like you said earlier, this is mean to think that she's not capable of being in a relationship because she has kids. But I didn't think that I had any objections to her rules, because it's like what I always say before, don't scare the pussy away, right?
Oh, man.
So I don't want to scare the pussy away, so I'm like, hey, yeah, you got rules, I understand. I'll play to those.
I want sex, so let me comply.
Yes, to these.
Might be the battle cry of blue pill men.
Yes.
Want sex. What are your rules? I'll comply to the rules, just let me get the sex.
Yes.
And that is... And by the way, I do not believe single moms are any more low-hanging fruit. Now, with my new red pill knowledge, I don't believe I don't believe single moms are any more low-hanging fruit than an 8 with no children.
Right.
I know, but I mean, you just went right, and you and I know this. I think some of our listeners don't. We talked about this a little bit last week. You don't get credit for dating down.
Right.
Those,
as a woman, yeah.
And we talked about this
as a
too.
man, I'm sorry.
6s and 7s are having sex regularly with 10s that are men. Adonis-looking, six-pack abs. 6s and 7s are regularly having sex with 10s. So when a guy and I don't consider myself a 10, so when a guy like me comes in, they're not feeling like I'm dating 6s and 7s. When I'm used to dating 7 through 9, when I get a 6, she's like, yeah, man, I dated a dude who looks like Chris Hemsworth twice last week. Dating means he came through. There was no dinner or anything involved. He just came and dicked her down. But you don't get any credit for that. And similarly, you don't get any credit for dating a single mom. She doesn't sit over there like she should and be like, man, I've mismanaged my life up to this point. Either I chose the wrong guy or I ran off the right guy. What single moms have been adored And a big part of this show, Anthony, is talking about reality. I was having a talk with my wife this week. And she says, wow, I think a lot of people think what you guys are saying on the podcast. This was after she listened to it on Spotify, which you can catch us on Spotify. She says, I think a lot of people think what you guys think, but nobody's willing to say it. And she's right. You're not going to turn on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon sits there with a grin and just goes, yeah, man, single moms suck. Yeah. Don't date them.
Yeah, that's never going to be mainstream.
Yeah, so it's up to us to kind of come out with our show and talk about reality, And, getting back to my point, single moms have been nothing but adored because you and I have talked about this many times. There is a lot of money in telling women what they want to hear. You don't believe me? You ever heard of somebody named Oprah? She sits around and tells women what they want to hear all day, and she's built a goddamn empire on it. Yeah. By the way,
got a whole network.
Yeah, and towards the end of Oprah's career, I actually kind of a ton of respect for her because she started kind of backing off of that and started kind of telling women a little bit more like, hey, y'all need to kind of get it together a little bit. Very subtly, very palatable. But I respected her for doing that.
Yeah, I did catch that from her as well. I saw her kind of change her aspect as far as how much more, because she's built enough of an audience that she's not going to lose her audience because she's said something contrary to what she's used to saying, or what they're used to hearing. So when she made that change, or when she made that slight change, you can tell that she was able to tell more of the truth. And think about it.
But it was only after she made $1 billion telling women what they want to hear.
Billions, not millions, billions. Yeah.
Right. But let's jump into this part of it. When I went into this Donovan Sharp show, which was absolutely great, by the way, because let me tell you guys, Donovan Sharp won me over. He really, really did. He really just changed my mind because I kind of walked around the world kind of like you, Anthony. Don't scare the pussy away. Don't tell women what they don't want to hear, especially don't tell them the truth because they don't like hearing that because you're just going to scare them away. You're going to run them off. And this is how a lot of blue pill men think. Instead of going their direction, and we're going to really touch on that, going towards a man's purpose and living your purpose in this part of the podcast. We'll get back to that. But you literally have just, society has told you that the single mom who's obviously made one critical relationship failure in her life, okay? That's really and truly,
was it a failure though, or was it a choice?
It was both, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get to. It's a relationship failure because she wanted to have a baby with this man.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're going
So if she wanted to have a baby with this man, she probably wanted him around, at least at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So she did one of two things. She either couldn't be high value enough on her side to keep him, or she made a bad choice and the man was a piece of shit. Now, every woman is going to tell you, that motherfucker ain't shit. That motherfucker ain't shit. I know, ladies. For some reason, if you had a baby with a guy, you're 100% in the right and he's 100% in the wrong. I've never heard a single mother say, you know what?
No.
I was an asshole to my baby daddy. But we could all conclude it's probably happened. We never get to hear his side of the story because we're too busy over here honoring single mothers.
In my blue pill eyes, man, I was always ready to be like, yeah, he probably wasn't shit. And she wants you to say that as a man because she don't want to have to shit on him too much in conversation, right? Because she don't want to look like she has any fault. So she definitely will pick a guy that will take a negative onset look on previous relationships. And guys, I'm be honest with you, man. Never, as a man, you should never talk shit about another man you don't know. And if she wants
especially when a woman is talking about a past relationship,
let her view be her view. Do not take on her views of this guy that you don't know. Straight up.
Now, before we go into this any further, and we probably should have brought this up before, before we get these emails and everybody gets angry and the YouTube comments, anything else like that, can we preface all of this by saying, no matter where you are in this argument, we all care about the welfare of the children.
100, yeah.
And by the way, this is why I'm a big, I don't want to get too political, but this is why I'm a big supporter of welfare in general, because welfare is for children. Okay? It's for children. Growing up in Memphis, my parents were on welfare. And just in different forms, like food stamps. We were in the free lunch program. And the bottom line is, I had piece of shit parents. I have no problem saying it. I grew up in a very violent household. And I couldn't control who I was born to. So at least, if we're going to spend money on anything in the government, let's at least make sure our kids got a little bit of a chance, got a little bit of food. Excuse me. That's what welfare is for. And that's why I'm a huge supporter of government welfare, because in my eyes, it's for children. These adults fucked up their life, or they're fucked up themselves. They had some kids. I didn't ask to be born. I am born. If we're going to spend any government money on anything, let's give kids a chance, okay? So you can tell I'm very passionate about this topic, So we go into this conversation knowing that there's 4 parties involved. The kids are one of those 4 parties, and I think we can universally agree we all care about the welfare of the kids. Yeah, that is not what this conversation is about. This is about 2 of the 4 parties. Now, you got the kids as one party. The father who donated his sperm is party number 2. And then you've got single mom and future boyfriend of single mom. Those are the 4 parties we're going to talk about. Well, those are the 4 parties involved. We're going to talk about 2. We're going to talk about single moms that you should not date, fellas. I know, I said it. Let me say it again. Fellas, do not date single moms, and we're going to tell you why. And then we're going to talk about the future boyfriend. So I went into this, Anthony, like I said, all parties care about these kids. I went into this thinking, I'm an older gentleman. If I date women, I got to just know that they probably had a kid. They probably had failed relationships. This is just part of life. Yeah. If someone said anything derogatory about a single mom, immediately I would grab my shield and sword and helmet and white knight my way.
Save him, Wesley.
Man, I'm coming to save him. I'm coming to save him, Anthony. I'm saving all the single moms. Just give me some sex, and I'll save you. Yeah, that's Blue Pill Wesley right there. That's how I used to be. So, not thinking about single moms for a long time. I've been out of the dating pool now for a little over 2 years. And so I haven't thought about single mothers in a long time. And I did date them when I was dating, again, thinking that it was just part of the process, until Donovan Sharp had this phenomenal show about just say no to single mothers. Now, I know everybody's mad right now, but hear me out. Once I listened to this show, and this also touched me because I just recently had a baby, okay? And it's my first and only. And so just recently having a baby, it really changed my point of view. And they changed my point of view because they get into the specifics, Anthony, about who has the right to further their lineage, their DNA, their legacy, if you will. And women are making all those choices. In 2019, women are making all those choices. Unless you live in one of these states that just made abortion very, very hard. Arguably, many states have made it very, very hard. And by the way, I'm pro-choice. You know, if it's, ladies, you get to do what you want to do with your body. It's not fair that you get to do whatever you want to do. If I get a woman pregnant and let's just say we're married, she could just go have an abortion. She can kill our child if she wants to, whether I want to or not. If it's a one-night stand and we both know it's probably not good for us, and, you know, let's not get into abortion here and is it right or is it wrong? But we can all agree that women do make the choice on either side. The only choice that men get to make is, are we going to have protected sex or unprotected
Correct.
sex? It's really the only choice that we get. Women are now, in the year 2019, especially with birth control and all these other things, women are now deciding who gets to be born. And then you add single moms into it, like, hey, I wanted to have a baby with this guy, not so much with you, but I would love for you to help me pay for this baby that you had no, choice in having. We might go into this on a different podcast. Rollo Tomasi, Anthony, actually went online and was talking about the reaction people have when it comes to male birth control. Rollo Tomasi said, hey, we've had birth control for women for decades now.
I mean, how many different ways women have?
Oh, 100%.
Options, yeah.
So they're saying you can't make a pill for men to have birth control. And the outrage online saying that there would be no children born, there'd be no, women online did not want men to have the ability to have birth control. In the book that Anthony and I recommend a lot, The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi, he talks about people online reacting to a married couple. They got married, and they both said they did not want children. She was on birth control. She secretly gets off birth control, and she's not getting pregnant. Okay? So she finally gets frustrated, and she confesses, hey, I've been off birth control, but we aren't getting pregnant. He says, well, first of all, I told you I didn't want to have children. Second of all, why are you being dishonest and getting off birth control? Third, I never thought I needed to tell you this, but I've had a vasectomy, and that's why we're not getting pregnant. The outrage online, Anthony, that the guy had a vasectomy and did not tell her, it was amazing. It was just this guy was being attacked when it was the woman that was being dishonest, because they talked about right up front, we don't want to have kids. So this kind of leads into when we start to break down single mothers and their strategies on reproduction. Rollo Tomasi, and we're going to play this clip for you. Rollo Tomasi, who is the author of the best-selling book, The Rational Male, he calls in to Donovan Sharp's podcast, and he has a really interesting take. It's a little bit of a longer clip, everybody. It's about a 5-minute clip, but stay with me, and you'll see here how single mothers go from this hard-working female who's working 4 jobs and just trying to put food on the table that you sit around and honor, and this may, like it did with me, this may change your point of view. Here's what Rollo Tomasi says when he calls. I'm sorry, Anthony.
Before we go into that clip, that's a dirty bitch, man, to secretly change a verbal contract that she had with someone that she married now, right? And he's going to be responsible for this child.
Oh, 100%.
And he said, I do not want this. Now, you go into a contract with a woman legally, because that's what marriage is. You're legally saying that I am responsible for this woman now, and whatever happens within this relationship. So that's with kids as well. So you create a child that you said you didn't want, that she decided on her own that she's going to have now, right? You can't say, well, I didn't want this child, because now as a man, you look like shit. You look like you were doing something wrong.
How many people online, Anthony, do you think were outraged about the woman lying? Because this
None.
is what
Especially
women, man, this is what frustrates me like crazy about women. This is what y'all don't understand, is the world just kind of lets y'all act crazy whenever the hell y'all want. And you don't realize you're walking around, like they talk about male privilege. Let me tell you what woman's privilege is. Y'all just get to be crazy and just fly off the handle and just act nutty.
Not held
in the
accountable.
world. Yeah, not held accountable for it. Well, she's a woman. And then y'all want like equal pay and equal opportunity. And it's like, ladies, in life, y'all are shooting from the women's tee boxes, using a golf term. You don't get held accountable. Like, men just can't go crazy and just be dishonest in a marriage and, you know, secretly impregnate a woman. They might, I mean, women would call that like rape, and I mean, they would go nuts. But women just get to kind of be crazy when it's convenient for them, then come back to normal, then be crazy. I mean, that's the world that we live in, and it frustrates me like crazy that we live in a world they don't get called out for it. And in quite the opposite, they actually get honored and cherished. Ooh, single mom. You got movies where I remember this movie. It's like there's a movie called The Bad Mothers Club, right? Okay. Coming this summer, Anthony. Mothers that just can't get it together. Womp, 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 womp.
Wow.
Oh, man. Junior, I forgot your lunch again.
This is real?
This is I think they made a sequel to it.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, I got to check that out.
Mom's walking in late to the PTA meeting. Oh, Bad Moms Club. This dumb bitch. It's the girl that does the voice in Family Guy. What's her name? The dark-haired girl. She's a hottie. And I'm looking this up as we speak. And she's like walking around. Her hair's all messed up. She's all like scatterbrained.
So it's not a reality show. This is like a...
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a comedy. And they're just honoring like, oh,
so
Bad
it's comical to be a bad mother is what.
And they did a Bad Moms Christmas movie, Anthony. This is I'm looking this up as we speak, man.
That's crazy.
100, man. It's just
here's a
nuts.
pass. Here's a free pass, and we're gonna make this funny because mothers shouldn't be this way, but if they are, it's comical. Wow.
It's Mia Kunis, Kristen Bell, Katherine Hahn. You know, let's make the adverse movie, Anthony. It's the Bad Dads Club. Oh no, I forgot to pay the mortgage. Oh, looks like we're going to have to live on the streets.
Not going to happen.
Uh-oh, Dad forgot food. Uh-oh, forgot to pay my child support.
Yeah, that ain't funny at all, is it, ladies? That ain't funny.
Dad doesn't know how to change a tire. Oh, man. I mean, dude, just...
Wow.
There's not a Bad Dads movie.
Yeah, it never will be, man.
Jesus, dude. Because we actually get shamed in life when we do bad at shit.
Yeah.
Women get honored when they do bad at shit. And let me tell you, women are masters. We talked about this episode 1. Women are masters at covert communication. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Men are very overt communicators. Women are very covert communicators. We talked about women doing this with like covert communication like their Chanel handbag or their shoes. They're communicating something to other women.
Correct.
They're not communicating to men.
Right,
They're
right.
telling other women, I'm a certain status because I got this bag that you can't get unless you go to New York City and you know a guy and, you know.
And that language is so understood. Like when I heard you talk about that before, I knew of it, but it didn't hit me home until you start describing it when they talk about the red bottom shoes, the Chanel purse.
Oh, yeah.
And the Chanel wallet inside the Chanel purse. And it's like, this bitch is barely making rent, yet she has all this shit. But it's a status-making statement for other bitches. It's not even about men.
Yeah.
Because they know it's easy to get men stepping out the door. But this shit is for other women.
Yeah, they're communicating with other women. And let me tell you, speaking of covert communication, women are covertly taking over reproduction and with their reproductive strategies. And, you know, going into Donovan Sharp's show, Rollo Tomasi calls in and he really breaks it down. Fellas, keep your ears glued to the podcast right now because Rollo Tomasi might change your mind about how you view single mothers from now on.
Here's what I think that, you know, part of the discussion that needs to be met. Like I've been listening to this since you started, and like whenever there's something that hits the black community, it's almost like more intense than like when it hits a white community.
Right.
So when I hear guys talking about single mothers, like when I do a show on it, or you do a show on it, or anybody, you're always going to get women who are going to tell you, oh, you're horrible for saying this, or you're a misogynist, or they're just going to try to bring you down, or you're losing your audience, or whatever. And there's a reason why that rubs them the wrong way, and that's why they've got to raise an alarm about this. Is it because the epidemic of single motherhood is by design?
Ooh.
Just as you're saying right here, as far as feminism is concerned, what would you say here? Your title here is feminism is what is creating this? Yes, nothing has been more true since the sexual revolution. Because what happens right now, and like I said, it's particularly highlighted in the black community, you have women who get into what I call their party years. They get between the ages of 18 really, and all the way up until they get to be about 28, that 10-year window. That is their prime fertility window, and that is when they are looking to breed with the guy who is the alpha. They're looking to breed with the guy who is the good genetics. If you go and you look at the stats right now, 42% of children today that are born in the United States are born out of wedlock. Right. Why is that? Why is it that in the black community more babies are being aborted than they are being born right now? Okay, this is by design. Okay, so what happens is these women they're trying to follow their hypergamous imperatives right now. So what they do is that at one point in their life, they see that as their reproductive opportunity, and that at another point in their life, when they get to be older, that's when they start looking for guys who are not the stepfather, but the guy who stepped up. How many times have you seen that?
Oh, God, yeah, all the time.
Men will find ways to feel proud about exactly, and I'm not familiar with the guest here, but exactly what he was just saying a moment ago, which is, you are expected to assume the parental investment responsibilities of a child that you had nothing to do with. Your
Right.
decision in that child being born or not being born is not up to you. It was up to her. She decided who she was going to reproduce with, and now you are the one who has to man up. Your manhood and everything that women want to say is a real man, all of that depends on you fulfilling her mating strategy, which is I breed with one guy,
Yep.
and I am supported and provided for by another guy. That guy gets limited sexual access. The guy I bred with did not have to jump through any hoops. Like I said before, women make rules for beta men, and they break rules for alpha men. She broke rules so that she could have that man's baby, and she would make more rules for you. So it's not just, oh, you're going to get this great pussy because you stepped up and you're helping me out and you're a real man, and this is what I'm doing things the right way now. We're all going to go to church. We're all going to live a different, better life right now. All of those are rules for you as the chump that is coming in there to essentially assume the parental investment responsibilities of a child that you had nothing to do with. You had no part in that decision right there. And that's where that's what we're headed to right now. I've written like probably 3 or 4 essays about this just in the last year, about how this new sense of paternity, what this is it's teaching men beta men to abandon their interest in paternity. This is an evolved dynamic, an evolved part of men's nature to want to know that the child is theirs. So, like, the deal is this, right? If a man is going to put off his mating imperative, which is unlimited access to unlimited sexuality, and he's going to assume parental responsibility for a child, the only part of that deal that he can implement for himself is to know that that child is his. And for the last 50 years, since the sexual revolution, since feminism, what we've done is we have progressively and systematically taught men that is bad, for them to want to know paternity, for them to care about who the father is. It's all based on fulfilling that woman's mating strategy, and that's where you get this right now. That's why guys are just like, what the hell is this? Why am I expected to do this? We seem like this. We have this sense of outrage right now about a woman. Like whenever we say, guys, don't date single mothers. Women lose their minds because it messes up that system. It messes up the idea that I can breed with one kind of guy and I can have a successful family and a guy to come in and take care of that man's child.
Wow. So a lot to unpack there, Anthony. A lot to unpack. Let's start with a baseline, though. Let's start with a baseline of maybe a lot of our viewers do not realize the myth of the double standard, okay? Let's just break this down real quick because we got a lot to go into in that phone call. Okay, so the myth of the double standard. How come men, they get celebrated when they sleep around, but when women do it, we get called a slut? Okay, ladies, because y'all don't understand the basic psychobiological differences between men and women. And the basic difference is when a woman sees that a man is desired by a lot of women and he's sleeping around, that is attractive to women. Stop. Don't send me your emails. Not all women. Psychologically, biologically, when you see, ladies, a man that is chosen by a lot of women, that makes you attracted to him. Psychobiologically.
This is nature throughout every species on the planet.
Yes, when a woman sees that a lot of women want a guy, look at all your boy bands, look at all your movie stars, look at all your singers, musicians, rappers. When they see, they all want him, and they're not bothered by the fact that he's sleeping with a lot of women. They don't care that Leonardo DiCaprio has slept with a lot of models. That only makes them want him more. Okay? That's why he's celebrated.
Yes.
Now, what men are attracted to is quite the opposite. Men have a psychobiological reaction to women that are promiscuous. This goes back to a time where when Rollo Tomasi talks about men sacrificing their sexual imperative, men can go around and just sleep with all the women out there. But when they choose to breed, they have to give that up because human offspring are very delicate, and it takes two parents if you're living in a cave or living in a jungle or something, it takes two parents to get that child to at least 5 years old where it can start kind of contributing to the tribe, can live on its own a little bit at 5 years old, walking and talking by himself. It takes two people. So he sacrifices that. He sacrifices his sexual imperatives, sleeping around, but he's got to make sure two things. He's got to make sure that they're really attractive. That's why men are very attracted to looks, because if he's going to give up his sexual imperative, it's got to be great. It's got to be great genes to pass on to his offspring. Most importantly, he wants to know she's got big breasts, she can feed my kids, childbearing hips, exactly. So that's really important to men. If I'm going to give up my sexual imperative, I want to have great genes for my offspring. Okay, number one. Number two, she can't be the promiscuous gal in the tribe because I can't be certain that the offspring are mine. Correct. That's why promiscuous women are unattractive to men. Let me repeat myself, ladies, because this is a psychobiological fact in the human species. Men are not attracted to promiscuous women. There's something about it, and we don't understand it. Rationally, I should be okay with it. What's the problem? We're 2019. What's the problem? I mean, we have condoms to stop the spread of disease. We have birth control, all this stuff. Explain why men are not attractive to promiscuous women is the same as explaining why are men so attracted to titties. It's not, if aliens came down from another planet, men could not rationally explain why we love titties so much. It's just we do. This is our species. And this is why the double standard is a myth. Women are attracted to men that are chosen by many, many women. Men are unattracted to women that have many, many men that they sleep with because they can't be sure that the offspring are theirs. So let's start out with that. Now let's unpack this a little bit, Anthony. What Rolla Tomasi was saying.
Man, you said a lot right there.
I think probably some of our listeners, that's real ABC's kindergarten class for you and I. A lot of our listeners don't know that. When I was going back and listening to our first episode, I noticed that we were talking over a lot of these simple points, but I have to remind myself a lot of our viewers don't know about this. Okay, what I really want to get to, because I don't want to miss this, Anthony, one of the most powerful things that Rolla Tomasi said in there is that we're moving towards a society, and we talked about women communicating very covertly, right? Covertly, women and society are encouraging men to abandon their interest in paternity. Systematically, aren't they? I mean, systematically, they're teaching men, hey, you ever, let me ask you a specific question. You ever hear a woman that you were dating that was a single mom say this, hey, we can hang out, but check it out. I'm a package deal. Yeah, we hear that one a lot. But I've heard a lot. But the baby factory's closed. No more kids.
Yeah, I heard that.
So they're just choosing for us. Right. We've got to abandon moving our legacy forward, moving our DNA. And they will tell you that in their dating profile. Look, yes. Baby factory's shut down. Again, you said this last week, Anthony, and I'll never forget it. There are things that may be part of your dating reality that you don't have to arrogantly put in your dating profile. Right. You don't have to put in there 6 foot only, 6 foot and taller to get on this ride, because ladies, newsflash, arrogance is unattractive by both sexes. Okay? So with your arrogance of baby factory's closed, I moved on my genes, I've got a legacy, I've got paternal children that have my DNA. You don't get to move yours on. You don't get to move yours forward.
So she's choosing for you to have the kids by who she wanted to have the kids by, but she's choosing you to help raise this child that is not yours, and you have to accept that without ridicule shaming or any other objections. You just have to accept it.
I want to repeat to our listeners, Anthony, because I really want to drive this home to all you guys that are out there dating. And this, for me, is what sealed the deal. Why, if I'm ever single again, I would never date a single mother. These women, fellas, literally want you to abandon your interest in paternity, moving your legacy forward, because they already moved theirs forward. That should tell you everything you need to know about who you're dating.
Yeah.
100%, man. I mean, women have already kind of got their hands around deciding who gets to have babies and who doesn't.
Right. I said that last week. They are the gateway to extending your DNA, and they get to choose their yay or nay without your input.
Yeah.
So they, with this gateway, they technically can take away. And let's say this. Let's say that you meet a woman who meet your standards as far as the type of woman you want her to look like. And you're like, man, that'd be a great woman for me to extend my DNA on this planet, when I'm gone. And she was like, no, I've already chosen that for you. Here go child 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want me, you have to accept child 1, 2, and 3 and support them if you want access to me. And you're not supposed to be wrong for you're not supposed to be wrong, right for saying no. I don't choose that. I'd rather not date you with your already chosen DNA choices.
What I want to point out too, to all of our guys out there listening, or any of our LGBT in the community listening as well, because LGBT, excuse me, people, they're going to be dating, looking at single moms as prospects, right? I want to point out to you that they are never going to sit down and tell you, no, you can't move your DNA forward. They're never going to tell you. They are, again, as Anthony and I told you, they are covertly communicating this to you. And they're going to women are very good at like packaging up ideas and putting a nice little bow on them. Like, no, it's just that the doctor told me that if I have a third, I probably, no, don't listen. Any of you. They just don't want to get fat. They don't want to get pregnant again because they've already been through it. They know how miserable it is. I'll tell you what, if that alpha male came back, she'd have a baby with him. 100%. Anthony,
when you play that, I think I've heard that 5 times.
Yeah, I had to listen to it like 5 times to really get it, and I encourage our listeners to go back and listen to it again. Again, Rollo Tomasi, probably, Donovan Sharp calls him the godfather of the red pill community. 3 books. I just got through The Rational Male, which is 1 in a 3-part series. I'm about to start the second one. But I encourage you guys, they're available on Audible. That's how I'm listening to them. Rollo Tomasi does an amazing job of breaking it down. If you like that soundbite, good God, you're going to love the book. Anthony, let's get through. I think it's white people talking about, quote unquote, the black community. It just never sounds intelligent. So I'm going to let you kind of comment on how Rollo Tomasi started it out. He talks about this is big in the black community, and I already know in the black community there's going to be a lot of static on this take because you brought this up to me earlier this week. A lot of single moms in the black community and a lot of men raised by single moms.
Yeah, I mean it's my own reality. So, and I've told you also as well, like, black people have to deal with their own black issues without having to have a white voice support it. They have to be able to deal with their issues on alone. It just, I'll say for the black community, I can't speak for the entire community. I'm only speaking from my own viewpoint. By the way, I also gotta be careful talking to the black community. Again, it can get hypersensitive when we talk about issues like this. But when black men are raised by single moms, that black man is the product of that woman she's raising him to be the man that she wished she had in her life. So if she's telling him, hey, open the door, pull out the chair, 50-50, help with the chores, this and that and the other, she's raising him to be the product that she don't have in her life currently.
And one thing I would say about single mothers, where they're coming, and by the way, I don't hate single mothers. I'm just recommending not to date them. I'm sorry. I'm not even saying not to date them. Do not get in relationships.
It's very important. I was going to say that earlier, but I was going to wait till we got to the topic.
Yeah, let me clarify. Do not get into relationships with them. You can date them.
Yeah.
Use them recreationally to date. Do not get attached to them. Well, those are Minister Jack's words, not mine.
Minister Jack is a straight gangster. When it comes to talking about single mothers, he has no love for single mothers. But the reality is this, though. Like, single mothers don't have love for anybody that they're trying to preclude in their life as well. Because, listen, they already have made their choice as far as, like, the children they're going to have. It's not all of them. Man, you know what? I was going to say this because I think we have to have a whole show on the dating scene on dating apps. But you got women who are in their late 30s, early 40s still talking about they still want to have a baby. And it's like,
oh, you told me. Yeah, we're going to have do a whole different deal on that.
But,
yeah. No. Because I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
But for the women who said, like Wesley just said earlier, the baby factory shut down, she's saying to you that, hey, we are already a family when you come and deal with me. So the things that I want in my life are only to benefit my children already. And the things that she doesn't say is that what she's going to be providing to you in this scenario. And it's just one-sided. It's always seemed one-sided when it comes to a relationship with a single mother.
Well, when you said it's always one-sided, I thought where you were going to go was it's always one-sided when it comes to talking about single moms, and it's all Jimmy Fallon, The View, Oprah, everybody. Just sit around. Don't criticize them whatsoever. Worship them. Put them up on the highest pedestal. You know what? Being a single mom is harder than being a chemical engineer, Anthony, or an astronaut, according to these dumb motherfuckers.
I don't know what show I saw this on. I think it was Oprah. By the way, she was talking about if being a single mother was a job, how much would you have to pay a single mother, right?
Oh, my God.
It was like $200,000 job, right?
I'm rolling my eyes hard, Anthony, because I have a newborn in my house right now.
Yeah.
It's just, this is like what being a human is. Also you have to walk to your car in the heat of summer as a human. You gotta, you get sick sometimes. Sometimes you get diarrhea. Sometimes you gotta wake up early. Man, taking care of a baby is just part of life, man. Part of being human.
I'm gonna say something real controversial. This is why being a single mother is hard to women. Because they never had to think about anybody else's sex themselves, and now they can't.
Woo! Having a baby is the first time in a woman's life that she has to think of someone else other than themselves and actually want to do it. Ladies, congratulations. You have a little bit of an idea now how a man lives his life every day. every day.
Especially when
Congrats.
it comes to...
Hey, Anthony, congrats to the ladies. They finally know, man.
Hey.
All right. Ladies, y'all made it. Y'all finally made it.
Come
y'all
on to this side.
Man,
See
come
how
on.
I feel a little
Man,
bit.
get in there. Come on, everybody. Everybody. Ladies, y'all made it. Wait, Anthony, I heard somebody on the Facebook group say she pays her own bills. She don't need a man. Anthony, this woman paid her own bills in the Facebook group. Congrats.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Men have been doing this for over 300 years. Congrats. Y'all pay y'all's own bills, ladies. Congratulations.
This is crazy to me because it's like...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get a sidetrack with
you're good,
I pay my
man.
own bills. That's my bad.
It's crazy because we say when a woman is talking about taking care of the kids and paying bills, this and that, and third. I guess they deserve a hand clap, a congratulatory praise because they didn't do it with a man.
And by the way, in being 100% serious, let's get past the obvious, okay? Like, when we started this conversation about the obvious, we care about the kids, their well-being. We had to get that out of the way because women just don't know how to argue because when they were hot and they were young and every man wanted to sleep with them, they didn't ever have to, like, argue stuff. They didn't even ever have to be funny.
Just be
because
cute.
Yeah, you ever hear a guy, like, talking about this fine chick, like, man, she's actually kind of funny, too.
Hell
yeah,
no.
I get it. Yeah, you're different. You don't want her because she has big 36 double D titties and a big ol' ass and a small waist. You're different. You like her because she's funny. No, man. No, dude. Stop.
I saw a video, right? This guy was, like, praising this chick. And he was...
I fell in love with her mind.
Yeah.
No, you didn't, man.
He was saying that, he said, what you got going on with your life? She says, I'm a model. I go to school. I was playing basketball.
You're a model?
Yeah.
Nah, I really respect that you went to school, though. That's what I really like about you.
He was saying that, he was like, what? You ain't got
sense.
no boyfriend? Ain't nobody cuffed you yet? And I was like, okay, man.
You don't even know this
pumping
girl.
Her. Yeah, he's just pumping her. He's just first time seeing her, right? He's pumping her up. He was like, okay. It's like, but when you talk to a guy, right? And the guy's like, if a guy says that he's a model and he's going to school, she's like, how he paying for shit? Like,
Yeah.
that's the first thing she was like, well, how you gonna take care of me, though?
Yeah.
And if from a guy's perspective, if a guy was like, hey, you ain't really about shit, like, you're a model, but what kind? Then she even said she was an IG model. Now, I know they get simps to pay them money on the low.
I'm an influencer.
But how much value do she have just by being present?
Oh, I mean, not a lot, because again, beautiful women don't ever have to do anything. They don't, and this is why we get frustrated when we're talking about, like, the single mom stuff. Ladies that come in because they never had to learn how to argue like men do, like rationally with facts. You actually have to talk about the topic. They're going to come in. Wesley and Anthony just hate women. Who hurt you? Not all women, and then insulting us. Why don't y'all just talk about why single women are good? I'm sorry, single moms are good. Why don't you just talk about the topic? Why are single moms great? Instead of attacking us, why don't you bring some goddamn facts to the conversation? Now, and this is another reason why women don't ever learn to actually argue facts and talk rationally, is because once they had the baby, and Rolla Tomasi talks about this in the phone call into Donovan Sharp's show, once she has the alpha male's baby and she brings in, and don't worry, ladies, I'm going to give you a light at the end of the tunnel, like right here, okay? Are all single moms off limits? My answer is no. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you, we talked about this last week. A single mom whose father, like, the father left and went to another country. The father died.
Yeah.
Okay? That is the only exception. Like, the dad's out of the scene whatsoever.
Like, completely out of the picture.
Yeah. I mean, especially if there's a death. That's where I do still feel like, man, I want for those kids to have a father. I've been in that situation before. The girl couldn't keep me. The girl was just dramatic. You know, there's a lot of problems. We won't go into it. But here's where I'm going to give you all a light at the end of the tunnel, ladies. But you're not going to be able to do it. But I'm going to give you a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just going to be impossible for you to do it. Donovan Sharp, Rollo Tomasi on Donovan Sharp's show said the quote, "Women make rules for betas. They break rules for alphas." Now, let me set up the scenario here, Anthony. So you've got a woman who has 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. This is very common, by the way. This is not a hypothetical. 3 kids by 3 different men is very common in 2019. So she finds a guy. Let's set up the profile of this guy. He makes, let's go, $175,000 a year. Has a big house, big enough for those 3 kids that you can move them into. They've been dating a while. It's going well. They're happy. This is a guy of high value, but he particularly likes this woman that I know it already sounds fake. I'm like, man, this is it already sounds fake, doesn't it? All right, it might be a little hypothetical, ladies, but I'm giving y'all a lot of room.
Yeah.
I'm giving y'all a lot of room. Yeah, it sounds hypothetical because a man of high value is not ever going to be with a chick.
And they are pissed about that.
Yeah. 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. If you have 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies, if you have 2 kids by 2 different baby daddies, let's just say you're not making great life choices, ladies. I digress. I'm sorry, I digress. So let's set this up. He makes $175K a year. He's going to take care of your kids. He's got a big house that y'all can already live in. You know what? I'm going to have to buy you an SUV so we can help you with these kids and stuff. Ladies, sounds good, right? You had 3 kids by 3 different baby daddies. A dude who makes well over 6 figures is going to take you into his house. Everything's going to be all good, right? Sounds good, right? Wrong. Because here's where y'all mess it up. Just like Rollo Tomasi said, you didn't make no rules for that alpha that put them 3 kids in you. You're going to make all kinds of rules for the beta bucks that's going to step in. You're going to all of a sudden put your hands on your hips and, hold on, we're going to have some rules around here. This is what real life is. You know what, ladies, the light at the end of the tunnel is? If that guy takes you in and he does all that, he should be able to pull your skirt up in public and you give him sex whenever he wants it. Anywhere, anytime. He's going to have access to sex. Let me let that sink in. I'll repeat it.
Yeah, they don't like
that guy. Yeah, he gets access to sex anytime he wants because nobody is taking care of you like him. You gave access to your vagina to all 3 of these dudes so much that you had kids with them. So now the guy that steps in and saves the day, he better be able to sex you down anytime he wants. Guess what else, ladies? You must be submissive to him.
Dirty word.
Submissive. Yes, I'm going to use that extreme because we don't like using the word submissive on this show. You must be submissive to him. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm a servant? No, it means you're colonel and he's general. That's all it means. Ladies, guess what? Colonels in the army, they're still leaders. You still are a leader in your family. But you're submissive to the general. General gets to call the shots. You don't get to mouth off. You don't get to conveniently act crazy. Get this, for the rest of your life. You don't get to conveniently act crazy on Christmas when you didn't get the gift you didn't want. You don't get to conveniently act crazy on Valentine's Day when the bouquet your man bought you wasn't big enough. You don't get to conveniently act crazy when the new handbag comes out and your man don't buy it for you. You are the colonel in his army. You are submissive to the general. And that is the only way, fellas, the only way that you can date a single mom. She has to tell you, not covertly, overtly, you are the leader of this family. I am submissive to you. I follow your lead. She doesn't have to say it every day, but going into it, she has to
if you're
declare.
talking about marrying this chick, yes, 100.
You're talking about marrying this chick while 3 pieces of sperm from some other dude are walking around your house.
Evidence.
Are you insane?
That is walking evidence that she
Dude.
didn't choose you.
I was listening to the Patrice O'Neill's Black Phillip show this week, trying to get some inspiration for our podcast. He brought Patrice O'Neill's so funny, by the way.
The GOAT.
He's the greatest of all time. But he talked about his girlfriend tripping over the fact that his ex-girlfriend's boots were still in his closet.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
It just makes me feel insecure. And the boots are in your closet. Your boots are in your closet. I want to pull the quote out. Patrice O'Neill said, because this is like the funniest stuff I've ever heard. So Patrice O'Neill goes into it, and he says, God, this is his quote. Bitch, you have a kid. You have a product of another man's balls walking and talking around me at all times. Do you think that's a reminder?
No shit. You want to argue about some boots, but you got a kid eating my food, using my electricity, walking and talking. It ain't my kid. It's
a product of someone else's balls, to use Patrice O'Neill's. And ladies, stop. Ladies, we would not be in any of these predicaments if y'all would just act with a little bit of humility.
A little bit.
We wouldn't have to tell our listeners, do not date single mothers. They're just not there yet. Until they get to a level of compliance where they're like, hey, I need to put my hat in my hand and I need to come to you and be like, look, me and my ex have a failed relationship. Not only did we have a failed relationship, but we brought a child into the world with a failed relationship. Ladies, I don't care who failed it. Either you made a bad choice choosing the guy or you chased the guy off. Those are the only 2 options. Live with it. Look in the mirror and live with it. Have a little bit of humility.
The gateway of children come through your choices.
Your choice. Women decide who has kids. So you failed this child. Let me say it again. You failed this child. Ladies, listen to me. You failed this child. So when you go to a guy asking another man to take care of your failed relationship, you better go hat in hand. And you better not go telling him the baby factory shut down. You better not go to him making demands. Hey, you know what? Now we're going to church. You're not in charge. You don't get to make a choice that failed a child, and now you're in charge. You should not be in charge. You failed a child. You no longer get to be in charge of shit. If you want a man to come in and lead your household, come hat in hand. Be submissive. Be the colonel. Now, you don't get to check out and be the private. You still have to be a leader in the house, but you are submissive to the general. And ladies, until y'all get to that level, fellas, do not date single moms.
Man,
we have to starve these women out, man. We got to starve them
man,
out.
100. And you said something real strong there, man. You can't check out once you get a man on the hook.
That's why we say you're the colonel.
So
the colonel is like an elite man in the army.
They want so much praise for being a single mother, but as soon as they get with a man, they was like, oh, okay, cool. You're here, you're taking responsibility, you step in and it's like hands off, you're in charge, but it's only convenient for the things they want done when it comes to resources provided, house over the head, transportation back and forth, bills paid on time. The shit that are tangible The shit that's very tangible that you want provided to you, you want nothing to deal with anymore once you get a man. And it's like, you don't get to let that shit go. What happened to your pride of paying bills and shit and posting that on Facebook?
I pay my own bills, Anthony. I pay my bills.
I
take care of my
where
kids.
That pride come? Where you lose that pride all of a sudden? You know, so just because a man pays those bills, like, you don't put him on Front Street and be like, my man pay my bills. I'm so grateful for this man. I don't see women doing that. You know why?
I'm so grateful for this man. That's what I don't see.
You know,
from single mothers, I do not see that. I'm so grateful for this man. And I'm sorry, the main point I want to hit on before we leave this topic, Rollo Tomasi really hit the nail on the head, because it's not just women that are going to hate this segment of our show, Anthony. Men are going to hate this too.
Oh, that comment.
Because they grew up with single moms.
Yeah.
And they love their moms. Hey, I love people that have failed relationships too. I love them. No buts. I love them. Nothing's changed.
It's not personal.
Doesn't change that they have a failed relationship. Rollo Tomasi, his quote was, men that are dating single moms, they'll find ways to feel proud.
Yes.
That they're... Guys, let me just tell you as a rule, if you ever feel like you're the hero in a situation, I want you to ask yourself a question. If you feel like you're the hero in a situation, is it because a woman's making you feel like a hero? And if the answer to that question is yes, you're probably not a hero. She's probably making you feel like it so that she can manipulate you to do her bidding, but you're probably not a hero. Let me tell you, guys, most of these kids with the single moms, the dad's still around.
Oh, yeah.
You're not a hero. Stop.
Yeah,
men finding ways to feel proud. I want you to realize that you are rationalizing your reality in your own head.
Yep.
You're not a hero. You're not doing anything special. You know who heroes are, Anthony? Airborne Rangers, Navy SEALs, firefighters. Those are heroes. Because what they're doing has nothing to do with a woman. They are courageous just in the world. You're not a hero for coming in and fathering someone else's sperm. You're not. You're just not. So stop, guys. So stop.
And
ask yourself, guys, and I don't want to alienate people that are in relationships with single mothers, but what I do want you to, guys, especially if you're attached to them, I want you to at least take this into your brain that she should be grateful to you. You are coming in instead of fellas, instead of you going and buying it. So let's just say you have $1 million and you want to go buy a car. Would you go buy a new car? Or would you go buy a car that needs to be rebuilt, needs a new tranny, needs, we also need some gaskets in the engine, and we're going to fix this thing up, man. That's what you're doing with single moms. You're taking a broken down car. You're a millionaire because you're a guy of abundance. You could be with any woman you want. When you go to a single mom, you're going to like a fixer-upper car when you didn't have to do that, man. And if you're rationalizing that you're a hero to this car by fixing it up, no.
You had a restaurant reality, a food reality. That one,
Anthony. That's we had this analogy. We were talking on the phone earlier this week. We were like, we were talking about men that don't have a healthy rotation of women.
Yeah.
Donovan Sharp's not too far off when he talks about The Bachelor. Men should have like a lot of women that they're dating because it forces you to vet these women for your time. Now, what women will do is they'll come in and they'll make you feel guilty that you're dating around, even though they're dating around. No problem.
And if they know you're dating around, they know that you have value on the sexual market.
So they're more attracted to you,
exactly.
Even though they tell you the opposite. They're just trying to manipulate, again, the reproductive game in their favor. But whenever, guys, you only date one woman at a time, it's like the only way you can get food is going to this one restaurant. And guys, you know what I'm talking about. The minute we wake up in the morning, we have an insatiable hunger for sex.
Morning wood.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. So it'd be like if you're with one woman, the only place you can get sex is from her. It's like having this one restaurant. The only way you can get food is going to this restaurant. And Anthony, you cracked me up because you were like, if that's your only way to eat and get food and survive, this restaurant can take your favorite food off the menu. They can have rats running around. They can fail
health inspections.
I mean,
they know you have nowhere else to go but them, so they don't give a fuck what the quality is. They just provide you whatever they feel like giving you that day. Like you said, change the menu up on you, take off your favorite menu items, and tell you, hey, we're not. They say we're open at 7 a.m. and then they changed it. They're late. There's 9:30. Doors just opening, and it's like, man. They tell you can't have sex. They ration out the pussy, and it's like.
And this is what single moms do to beta male providers.
Different rules.
Different rules. They're going to give you different rules than they gave the alpha that they had the baby with, to include, you can't have kids with me. This other guy can have kids with me. You can't.
Dirty.
Fellas, you got to stop rationalizing.
Don't get in relationships with single mothers. That's what we're talking about. Your value is higher. Straight up. You don't have kids, and she have kids, and she's telling you can't have kids with her, but she wants you to continue to help provide for her and her kids, and that's supposed to be okay with you?
If you're currently in a relationship with a single mother, I want you to at least walk away from this podcast knowing what your real worth is.
Exactly.
Know what your worth is.
Does she treat you with respect as if you do, or as if you are the high value? Like you are being treated with respect from the kids and her.
See, no. I think anyone dating or in a relationship with a single mom, they should get higher respect. They should get higher respect than the alpha that they mated with. Because this guy came in to a failed relationship situation and took over. He should get sex anytime he wants. Which, ladies, and stop with the let's get woke type stuff. Men want sex. They want sex all the time. If you are very valuable to a man if you can give him sex whenever he wants. By the way, free life hack for you ladies. Let me give you 2 free life hacks. Women are always wondering what men want and how to be successful with men. Just do 2 things. Be in really good shape. Go to the gym. Be in really good shape. Be available for sex whenever your man wants it.
Damn.
That's it. You win. Game over. You win. Single moms, you'd win too, but single moms won't do it. No, my babies come first. My kids, let me also make some more people mad. Your kids in life, your kids never come first. Your spouse comes first at all times. Your natural psychobiological reaction is going to easily be to put your kids first. You have to resist it. You have to put your spouse first. Because guess what? When that kid moves out of your house, you and your spouse are going to be sitting there staring at each other. You have to put them first. Never put children before your spouse.
Man, hey, you said something that I gonna hear, so that I know the disagreements and the arguments gonna come from. And like I said, in these dating profiles, they always proclaim that they children come first, A1, number 1. Well, if that's
why would that be attractive to someone looking to date them?
It's nowhere near attractive. Because you're telling me already the kids come first, the dog come first, the bills come first, your job come first, your boss come first. I don't have room in your life. Get the fuck off the internet.
Does anyone
Take
ever
care
go?
of all that shit.
Does anyone ever go to the general and goes, "Hey, general, something else comes first before you, general"? He'd be like, "Well, get the fuck out this army. I'm
Straight up.
first.
They
I'm
have
number
ways
one."
to get your ass out too. You want to say that you don't want to follow orders? You don't want to fall under this hierarchy of rank structure? Then get the fuck out.
Anthony, when they're telling you, if you're on a plane and you're traveling, and the oxygen masks fall down, what do they tell you to do?
Take care of the kids.
No.
I wanted to see.
You cracked me up with that. You cracked me up hard with that. Take care of the kids.
They want
No, Anthony, the kids come first on this plane. On this plane,
die while saving your kids.
That
That's
airplane's dating profile says the kids come first. The kids come first.
Man, take care of them kids. No, they say take care of you because without you, them kids can't survive.
Yeah, take care of yourself first so that you have the ability to help other people.
Wow.
All you guys that feel proud that you're sacrificing for someone else's kid and being a stepfather that stepped up, let me tell you, be a real hero. Put yourself first. Put your purpose first. That's being a real hero. That way, if you take care of yourself, all the people behind you and your family, they're going to come with you. Put your oxygen mask on first, and then help them put on theirs. But you, fellas, you have to put yourself and more importantly, your purpose first before you can help her kids, before you can help her. Patrice O'Neill said it best. A happy man is a happy house. Yes. Because if happy wife, happy life. No more ridiculous words have ever been said on this planet than happy wife, happy life. No. When a man is happy in the house, he makes everybody else happy. He makes it. Women are just wandering around looking for shit to be dramatic and unhappy. And if you are a man, I'm telling you guys, instead of being a hero to some stepkids, be a hero to your family by chasing your purpose first.
Yes.
That's the real hero of the family. And then by leading by example, teach others in your family to put their purpose first without manipulating and using others to do your bidding like these single moms do. All right. Sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry.
That came with passion, didn't it?
Ah, dang. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I was passionate about that topic. Anthony, I want to end that segment by saying we have to come back. It is our fault. It is our fault. And we talked about this last week, and last week I had a real question. I don't remember if you remember this. I had a real question. How are these women so confident? We were talking about the K Jewelers commercial.
Yeah.
How are women this confident, this arrogant in the world? And this brings it right back to this is our fault. And I say our, I'm including men. I'm putting simps and red pill guys in the same boat. Simps are what give women this level of confidence. And for those of you, we're going to play this clip by Patrice O'Neill, who has an analogy about how if men and women were sharks, women will go hang out with these simps that are like her food, like seals and penguins and stuff. I won't give it away too much, but guys, this is why women are so confident and walk around so arrogant in the world.
Before you get in there, it's real funny to me that women don't choose simps first and then go get with an alpha.
It's very well said.
It's always after they've been with an alpha that they want to go the opposite direction because it's too.
I want you to open my door for me, Anthony. Before we get out of the car, I want you to get out of the car and run around my side and open my, because this one guy that I went on a date with, he did that.
And lay your jacket down on the ground in the rain so that my feet don't get wet. Listen,
why don't you pull out my chair, Anthony?
It's too much. See, they can't be a princess in an alpha's world, right?
Well, no. They can be a queen in an alpha's world.
Not a princess, though.
Oh, that's a good point. Because the king doesn't marry his daughter.
Not at all. Not at all.
The king,
you have responsibilities as a queen.
Yeah.
That's
a good analogy.
As a princess, you're just taken care of, right?
Yeah.
You can take all oncoming princess from all the lands, and they come to see if they are worthy enough to become your husband, right? And the king and the queen, try to validate, say, hey, are you good enough for our princess?
And there's going to be some smaller countries come visit, like, I don't know, like the country of Afghanistan or Croatia, but then that one prince comes over from France, or what's the country Eddie Murphy's in, Coming to America? You have a alpha motherfucker like that come over. You remember that movie, Coming to America? Eddie Murphy.
What was the name of it? Oh.
I can't remember the name of the country, but that was clearly like ballin' rich.
Yes,
royalty.
Man, now you got me.
But you have like these third world countries come over with their princes, and they're like, that's what they're doing. They're laying down their jacket. They're opening doors. They're doing all the extra stuff. Eddie Murphy comes in. He's like, look, dude, I have women sucking me off during bath time.
Right.
I don't need
Every
to
guy
cater. I'm a high value prince from a richer country. I don't have to do this. But this goes into I know Anthony's looking up what country they're coming from.
Zamunda,
yeah. Prince comes over from Zamunda. He's not laying down his coat. And
no way.
No. He's like, look, bitch, do you want to get married or not?
Right.
All right.
You're going to stand on one leg, you're going to bark like a dog, and you're going to jump in a circle.
Right. What? Wait. Hold on, princess. You got kids by other dudes? Nah. Never mind. There's princesses out there. Disqualified. Yeah. What is that, princess? You got some new rules for us? No. No, I'm just going to go back to Zimbabwe and...
Zamunda.
I'm sorry, Zamunda. I'm going to go back to Zamunda where I don't have to deal with your bullshit. And have a good life, though. Good looking out. But we're going to play this clip by Patrice O'Neal. It's just absolutely hilarious. And this gives you an idea, fellas, where women get all this weird confidence from.
Male sharks do, okay? Eventually, female sharks go, I don't fuck this shit. I'm a shark, too. But they're not a shark to anybody else except for penguins, seals, fucking walruses that are afraid of them. So when you come up swimming with your teeth like, right, what happens is the penguin goes, oh, here comes a shark. And what you do, instead of eating your food, you grab it and you go, I can kill you, right? I have power over you, right?
I'm going to date you
but I'm going to let you live. And I'm going to put you on my back and I'm going to let you be this penguin who gets to... That's why a lot of pretty women hunt for... like funny-looking dudes and fat dudes. That's why a lot of bitches catch up to me and they just lose because they look for fat motherfuckers that they can.
I'm not a small dude. I'm just, I'm a big boy myself.
You're a fat dude. You fat or you big?
I'm big. I'm 6'6", 300.
You're a big motherfucker. So you're intimidating. And here's what they do: they look at you, right? And some little cutie pie thinks that she can control you with her cuteness because she's doing you a fucking favor. That's what a female shark does to her prey. And then she gets tired of swimming around with this fucking pussy ass penguin. So she goes back to the male shark with this newfound confidence that the penguin's been giving her, and the male shark still goes, all right, where you been, bitch? Let's go back to what we doing. Now, the only way that relationship can survive is if the woman shark submits to being a woman shark and says, okay, male shark, how do I be a shark? Because if you've been living your life, if you've been living your life, your whole life being a penguin chaser, you don't even have a fucking clue what it is to be a shark.
Wow. Wow, Anthony, a lot to break down.
Oh, man. This is why Patrice O'Neal is the GOAT, man.
He really is. Without the Black Phillip show, and by the way, that's available on YouTube. A lot of Black Phillip shows on YouTube.
Even the Opie and Anthony show, too.
Opie, yeah. I mean, that's why he's the GOAT. And he brings up a good point. Ladies, in their young life, before they hit the wall, they get with a lot of penguins, don't they? They get with a lot of seals and walruses. And it gives them this is what I see, especially, Anthony, with 5s and 6s out there. Because they have sex with a lot of these handsome penguins.
They scale gets skewed. They think they have access to that all the time, and they really don't. You're just an access for a pump and dump.
Yeah, women are, and this is one of those things I kind of feel bad for women about, is women never know, does this dude want me, or does this dude just want my vagina tonight? And it's very confusing, because if a guy wants your vagina, he's giving you a lot of signals like, hey, this dude wants to marry me. I'm sorry. We shouldn't laugh. These poor women. They can't decipher.
Well, you talk about promiscuity, and then you talk about what I want to point out is that when you said promiscuity, you never mention one night stands, right? You never mention fucking on the first date, because they're very separate. They're not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can fuck on the first date and not be promiscuous, right?
Yeah.
So no one's saying that having sex is wrong or having sex is bad as a woman.
Mm-mm.
We're saying that if you're always having sex with every fucking guy, and it doesn't have to be every fucking guy you meet or talk to, but you're on a 70% likelihood to have sex with a guy that you went out that paid for a meal or showed you a good time. And again, if that's what you want to do, be you, boo. Have sex with whoever the fuck you want to. I have no problem with that. Live your life.
But ladies, just so you know, the day is going to come when you are going to want two things. You're going to want a relationship, and you're going to want children. Not necessarily, Wesley. Yes. Sorry. Psychobiological traits of human beings. This is what women want. That makes them feel secure.
Can you break that down? You go over that, what that actually means for the audience?
Yeah. I read a lot about this in Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male. We talked about earlier in the show. So what Rollo Tomasi talks about is, as a species, there are certain things that are psychological. There's certain things that are biological. One of the things we were talking about that's biological, an example would be a woman is having her period. There's nothing psychological about it. It's just something biological that happens to a woman's body. Something psychological could be a man that has depression. It's a psychological... Well, it's actually... Depression would be an example of psychological and biological, is what we're finding out. Something that's completely psychological would be problem solving. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily biological. When we talk about gender relationships with humans, we're talking about something that is psychobiological. So synonymously, it's both. And this is where women really, really get confused. They think that there's no biological things that are going on when it comes to attraction. They think that this is just, they can think their way into, and this is why
they think they're choosing they think the reasons why they're choosing the characteristics they want is psychological, but it's actually biological, right?
It's simultaneously both.
Well, yeah. There's a But they don't think
psychobiological.
they don't think it has anything to do with biology.
Biology. And that's why we have the girl that sits around. I don't know, Wesley. I'm a little different. I like guys that are nerds, and I don't know, like intellectual guys. I'm just a little bit different. And then Chris Hemsworth or Dwayne Johnson walks in the room,
and
she's got to go change her panties
out the window.
Yeah. I'm just a little different. Women all want to be different.
Pussy wet. As soon as he walked in, she was like, I don't know what's happening to me.
I don't know what's happening. Rollo Tomasi talks about when it comes to psychobiological, but biologically, specifically with hormone levels, men have 12 to 17 times more testosterone than women. And this is the primary hormone for sexual arousal. And so that's why men are very geared towards, falling in love with their eyes. They really, really like looks.
Right.
Women have way more estrogen than men, which is instrumental in sexual caution. Now, this is important because estrogen makes you sexually cautious. This is why women feel guilty about one-night stands, and men do not, because it's a difference in hormone levels of estrogen versus testosterone. So this is why women are also affected psychologically by having too many partners. Women are affected psychologically with having too many partners by eventually being able to connect emotionally with men through sex. Porn stars talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. Porn stars have had so much sex with so many different partners, and also combined with the fact that it's now become a career and they're getting paid money to do this. They now have problems with their spouse at home connecting emotionally through sex. They can connect other ways, but they've kind of sacrificed this. They've given it up forever. Versus women that have fewer partners, and whatever, ladies, I know it's 2019, whatever fewer is, right? Women that have fewer partners can still connect emotionally through sex. Now, we talked earlier about men being very unattracted to sexually promiscuous women. But don't worry, ladies. The power of denial is very, very real. Men can kind of live in denial that you've had a lot of sexual partners, as long as you can still, A, connect emotionally with sex, and B, and this is the most important one, you can't have slept with a lot of people in his immediate circle. Ladies, y'all may not understand this, but I know guys, you do. There is nothing more embarrassing than finding out the girl that you booed up with, your friend, just fucking ran her raw out. Like, raw dogged her out. Your friend now mentally
had every
knows.
hole she had.
Yeah, your friend now mentally knows. Because men always think if they had sex once with a girl, they can go back. That's just how men think.
Yes.
I'm not sure why we think like that. It doesn't really make a lot of rational sense. But
well,
we
if
always
you
think
dominate, especially if you're dominating the bedroom, you're like, I dominated that before. I can dominate it again. It's easy.
Patrice O'Neal talks about this. Being the fucker is a very dominant position. You're penetrating them. Being the fuckee is a very submissive position.
Yeah.
So, not all women, Wesley. Not all women. Some women like to dominate. No, shut up. But no, I mean, so your friend has now dominated your girl, which is why women don't get in their feelings about it too much, because they think if their man fucked their friend, prior to them getting together, everything's kosher, right? They're like, oh, my friend also was submissive, which women don't get in their feelings about it. This is gender relations 101. It's not about equality. Equality, ladies, is about rights. Do you pay the same taxes? Do you get to vote the same time as men? Do you get paid the same amount in the workplace as men? Yada, 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 yada. When it comes to men and women, and we talked about the double standard myth earlier, men and women are attracted to different things. women that are very heterosexual are not going to look at titties the same way men do. Men look at them and we're just literally foaming at the mouth, salivating, you know. Women can look at a woman's shape and be like, man, she's beautiful, but they're never going to see it like a masculine man does.
Yeah.
But let's get
maybe you can touch on it a little bit. Isn't there like a beastly nature inside you when you see a very attractive woman? As far as like you see her shape, you see her mannerisms, her hair when she's real feminine looking, and you're like, something inside you drives you in her vicinity. She can be on all the way across over there, but you find yourself close to her, right?
I love this question. This is, Anthony, you're going to have a hard time topping this question because you're going to be probably surprised by my answer.
Okay.
When I was a blue pill guy, the answer to your question is no.
Wow.
Yeah. I had these societal beliefs, kind of like honoring the single mom beliefs, like, she's a beautiful woman. She needs to be honored and worshipped and respected. I need to make sure she's safe.
Keep your distance.
I need to give her distance and respect. And dare I come too close because
and offend her.
I might offend her dignities and wait, I see goosebumps on her arms, Anthony. Can somebody get her a coat? God damn it! Are there no coats around here? Don't you see she's cold?
And
everyone?
you're like, I mean, I seen this movie. Like this girl say she's cold. He didn't have a jacket, so he was like, "Hey, does anybody have a jacket or a sweater that I can put
that's from Coach Corey Wayne's book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I was like, "What is going on, man? What do you mean?" She's just this guy is so simple. He's like, for her to be cold is against the law or some shit.
I'll give you the polar opposite. This is an episode of That 70s Show.
Okay.
You know how like alpha Ashton Kutcher is in the show. Like he's the hot guy in the high school.
Watched the show.
Okay, so Ashton Kutcher is kind of the dumb hot guy at the high school in the 70s. And there's this couple and he's like, "Oh, honey, are you cold?" And he takes his coat off and he puts it around her. And then Ashton Kutcher's girlfriend sees that and she looks over at Ashton Kutcher and goes, "Hey, I'm cold." And Ashton Kutcher doesn't miss a beat. And he just goes, "I can't control the weather." That is just such a great comparison of simp activity versus, and I'm talking about in a theatrical production,
right?
Simp versus alpha. Now, I'm not a barbarian here either. If the woman that bare my child,
is cold,
who gave me reproductive options, Anthony.
Hey, look at that. Look at that.
I'm saying, I mean, if I see my girl's cold, I mean, I would do the same thing. But I just think that's a great theatrical representation.
Yeah.
But
red pilling.
Red pill.
How you respond to that?
Well, I'll kind of get to how I'd specifically respond, but I'll say first, generally, with the red pill, I'm allowing myself to feel the way I really feel about shit.
Naturally, right?
Yeah, which is why I'm okay with my take on single mothers. Because my natural reaction, naturally, is not to take care of someone else's offspring. Daily. Now,
Right.
if I see, like, a kid on the street and needs help across the street.
You gonna help them.
Yeah, of course. I love children. But taking someone else's kid it's just not natural to me. It's not something I want to do. I don't want to take on the aftermath of a failed relationship. I want to start my own relationship, you know? I want to go, you know, one of the things too, because more specific to your question, when I was dating, when I would see a 9 or a 10 out in public, I would walk right on up because I give zero fucks about rejection. And I've also worked in sales for a lot of years.
Yeah, rejection comes with the game, yeah.
Yeah, rejection's part of the game. And it's been, and I mean this with all honesty, it's been like 13 years in my career since a rejection in sales has bothered me. I left that a long time ago. So I knew the analogy of being in sales, and eventually you don't care about rejection anymore for the rest of your life. You might be bummed if it's a big deal, and you didn't get the money.
Right.
But I don't have this emotional, like,
never walk to anybody else again and ask for something.
Yeah, like, or I'm going to be overly cautious next time I approach a prospect in business.
Because they can smell that fear. 100.
Yeah, they 100% they can. So I knew that if I approached enough women, that it would be
par for the course.
Yeah, well, it would be like I would eventually get to a proficiency level where I would no longer care about rejection ever.
Okay.
Like I knew that it would be like, but when I was blue pill and I would get rejected by women, it would be more like this. Anthony, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna talk to this. I'm gonna talk to this girl. I don't know, Anthony. I'm gonna go try. Oh, she turned me down, Anthony. Well, hold on. Can I get your number?
Oh man, what you gonna do now? Oh man.
Wait, girl. What are you doing Saturday night?
Poor Wesley.
No. Anthony. Better luck next time.
Yeah. You know what though? That's so real for a lot of guys though, man. And we don't know where every individual is that's listening to this is at. But if this sounds like something you've gone through, there is an answer to this though. Like you can get rejected, right? But as a man, if you fear rejection, it's because you haven't went to enough women in your lifetime. You haven't gone out there and be comfortable being who you are and talking to the opposite sex and saying, "Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so. Saw you from afar. Wanted to just come over and say hi, right? What's your name? Whatever, right? You go into a level, and this is not gonna be some kind of what they call it? What they call these coaches, man? Dating coach.
These pickup
artists. It's not a pickup artist show type of deal, but your confidence exudes a lot of who you are, and you can't be red pill and not have confidence in who you are.
Well, let me answer your question specifically, though, because you said, now you see like a 10 walk in the room. Now that I'm allowing myself, as I've taken the red pill, as I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, I allow myself to really, to your point, get really animalistic in the moment and be like, allow myself to just not, instead of being like, we need to honor her and respect. I will look and just be animalistically like, oh my God, wonder what it would be like to rip that girl's clothes off and imagine her naked, imagine her submitting to you, and because it's fun in the moment. And then you can go up, and even if she rejects you, you could be like, hey, Wesley, what do you got going on this Saturday? I have a boyfriend. My reaction now when she has a boyfriend is more like this.
Hey!
All right. Okay. All right, my bad. All right, but I did have fun thinking about you very sexually in the moment.
Man, that is so huge.
I got to enjoy your looks, got to come up and breathe you in.
Yep.
And it's on. Hey, it's on to the next game.
Blue pill guy's never even getting that chance because he's so in his head that he don't even get a chance to even try to play the game. So he's lost thinking about losing before he's even tried to play.
You know who Blue Pill Guy is? Blue Pill Guy is guy that goes on Price is Right and is like
$1.
I want to respect
$1 guy.
I want to respect the item up for bid. $1.
$1, Bob.
We did get a little off track though.
We did.
Talking about women being very confident. And talking about how it's our fault. Guys, you have to ask yourself, to Patrice O'Neal's analogy, are you a penguin in the analogy?
Yeah.
That you're just giving this girl validation day and night? Or are you going to be the shark that's going to be like, okay, I'm a male shark, you're a female shark, here's how it goes.
Well, the penguin should be afraid of the shark, right? That's natural, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so what we're saying is, as a beta male, you put yourself directly under the influence of a woman. Mm-hmm. So you automatically is playing that game. She is above you always.
What I'm trying to tell our listeners is, you are a shark. You just put on a penguin costume.
Ooh, so
you put on a seal
that's
costume.
Even worse than being a penguin. So it's not 100%. Who you are naturally. Now you're playing a role.
Mm-hmm. Because society taught you gotta respect these women. Put your coat down over the puddle for her, Anthony.
You're a shark and you got on a penguin outfit, so you're pretending not to have teeth.
Right. Oh
my God, man.
Yeah.
If you
just to make her feel comfortable.
If you're a blue pill guy or beta guy, you got this. I want you to feel uncomfortable knowing that you're choosing this life.
I want you to feel uncomfortable feeling like a hero for taking care of some other man's kid. Let that sink in. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to repeat myself. I want you to feel uncomfortable about feeling like a hero for fathering some other man's seed.
What can I ask you a question on this? What about the woman that is upset with what you just said? That they're not going to
be able to come at me rationally. They're going to either insult me, they're going to give me a personal story, they're going to do whatever.
The argument tree.
They're going to go down the argument tree. And here's where they think they've got me on this. They're going to say that what I'm doing is I'm hurting children. No, I'm not hurting children, single moms. You are hurting children. Your failed relationships are failing children. Look in the mirror, ladies. Your failed relationship is failing your children. Swallow that pill.
That's a big pill.
Oh, boy.
That's a big pill.
Swallow it. Now, Anthony, you and I have a saying, don't we? The difference between men and women can be boiled down to one thing: how they take criticism. The difference between men and women can be boiled down to one thing: how they take criticism. Men get better. Women get offended.
And men get better because they have to. They have no other choice.
There ain't nobody around here going to feel sorry for us and honor us and put us up on a pedestal for no reason other than the fact we got a dick. Yep. I mean, that is what women, that's the world women live in. They get honored just because they were born with a fucking vagina.
Yeah.
They don't ever have to accomplish anything. Now, that's why women that do accomplish shit really stick out to me. To me, they're real heroes. Women like Danica Patrick. If you don't follow Danica Patrick on Instagram, that girl is always got something going on. First of all, she was in a male-dominated sport.
Yeah.
They dogged on her the entire time she was there.
Yep.
Danica Patrick didn't even win the race. Motherfucker, there's like 50 other dudes out on the track that didn't win the race. You know?
She was an outlier, right? So, and this is where the know-all always comes in. Well, there's an outlier, but listen to this,
Well,
ladies.
I mean, aspire to be the outlier, then, ladies. Like, I'm not talking about shit you can't do. Like, just be good at some shit. Be good at being a mom. Don't be in this movie, The Bad Moms Club. Like, take some pride in, like, being good at shit. Don't just sit around waiting for people to worship you. Danica Patrick in an all-male sport. So, Anthony, she let herself go, right? She's not that hot?
No.
No. Go to her Instagram. She's doing CrossFit every day. She's beautiful. She dates the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. They're together. She owns a winery out in California. She retired racing, doing a NASCAR event, an Indy event, and another event like Hall of Famers do. And she did this like in a 2-month span. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but she did this amazing retirement, finale of her career. She's amazing. We talked about last week Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. Perfect example. Because she went to Harvard Law, is that correct?
Correct.
Because that's where she met Barack, right?
Yeah.
You talk about a woman who played Colonel, never got out of pocket. Chris Rock proactively was making fun of Michelle Obama, saying that she was going to come out like this. You didn't get elected president. We got elected president.
Right.
And to Michelle Obama's credit, she never, ever acted like that. I've never seen her come out of pocket. I've never seen her disrespect her dude. I've never seen her put her hands on her hip and wave her head back and forth.
And so many people wanted to push her to the forefront. I saw that, and man.
Oh, really? I didn't see this. Really,
I see, especially black women. I see Michelle Obama and Barack photos in their profiles, right? Mm-hmm. And so I wonder about that a little bit. It never. It kind of makes me pause because I don't know what that means. I don't know if they are saying that they want to be, or because I don't know what perspective or angle they're coming from by pushing her or putting that up there. Like, are they trying to say they want to be like Michelle, or that they want somebody like Barack? So I'm hesitant. So I naturally swipe left.
Oh, really? Really?
I naturally swipe left. I'm curious, but I don't know where it's coming from. But my instincts tell me to swipe left.
This is not a knock on Michelle Obama, but on a dating profile, put your damn picture, dude. We know what Michelle Obama looks like, man. We don't need her photo in your dating. Man, ladies, please email us. Red Pill Phone Tap. I don't know why I say there's no Red Pill Phone Pap smear out there that I'm aware of. Red Pill Phone Tap at gmail.com. Ladies, email us if you have. Email us. Let me rephrase. I was about to say email us for help on your dating profile. Email us to do your dating profile for you.
Oh, we'll make you.
We will get you some matches quick.
Exactly.
I'm a woman that's looking for a dude that I can have great times with, and looking for the general of my. I'm the colonel, and I'm looking for the general of my army. Just put that up. Watch that. Watch how that goes.
First of all, you made my eyebrows perk up like, This bitch ain't all about her.
Yeah.
What? So, man, listen, ladies, it's not hard to be attractive from a man perspective. Yes, your body matters. It does.
So get over it. So get over it.
Yeah.
Men love sex. So now how are you going to strategize your dating strategy around that? Now, let me tell you what you should do. You should be aware, like, oh, okay, men want sex. I can offer them sex. Okay, cool. Let me kind of think about my strategy on how to win at life Nope. They're just going to get emotional. How come men, every time they... Ladies, quit trying to shame the world into your mold. Stop. Why don't you just look at what the world... Again, men get better, women get offended, right?
Yeah.
You can't listen to that single mom portion and just be like, ah, dang, Wesley's right. We have gotten arrogant. We need to make some changes.
Where's she at? Because I don't think that's the response.
We need to make some... Wesley had a good point. We're completely dominating who gets to reproduce. Wesley's right. That was a failed relationship, and now a man's got to come in clean up this murder scene of my last relationship. Yeah, murder scene, because now we're affecting this poor child's life.
Caution tape all around the scene.
There's photographers there with the flash photography, detectives walking in and out.
Wow.
All right.
How did this happen?
How much does he owe on child support? I'm going to have to get to McGillicuddy downtown. He's the best detective we've got on this case. Columbo's walking through in a trench coat of your relationship.
Wow.
And that dude looks at this murder scene of your last relationship and goes, all right, we could put a fresh coat of paint on this place. We could put some new carpet in.
Clean his blood up.
Yeah. We could, God damn it. There's some brains on the ceiling. We could do some power washing on the sheetrock in here.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. The apartment next door has no blood on the floor, no brains on the ceiling, no caution tape. He decided not to move in there. He decided to move into your murder scene.
I don't want to skip past this. Ladies, if you just got out of a bad relationship and you had a kid behind that relationship and you immediately go into another relationship with a guy, that guy is most likely has low standards and he's probably low value.
No, Anthony, no. There's no low standards. He just realizes a woman's worth.
No,
he realizes a woman's worth, Anthony.
Those are not the facts. He is most likely low value and low standards. And I'm not saying anything about you. What I'm telling you is if you have not gotten over that relationship and cleaned up your life from what happened, and let's say you was in a 3-year relationship, I always ask this question to a new woman that I meet. When was the last time, how long was your last relationship? I always ask that question no matter who it is. I ask you. And the reason I ask that question is because you have to, let's say you're in a 3-year relationship, you have to have at least been single for a year and a half. The reason I say that is because you need time to allow yourself to recover from letting this guy go and you be on your own. Because let's be real, as a woman, when you're in a relationship with a man, you've given yourself up to be in a relationship with that guy. You are giving aspects of yourself up to be with this guy. So your lives are interchanged, and like for instance, if you're in a relationship with a new guy, you're probably making the same sandwich the way the old guy liked this sandwich.
Yeah, but that's because that man wasn't shit, Anthony.
No,
that man wasn't shit. You don't get it.
No, you learned how to make his sandwich.
No, that man wasn't shit. That was his fault.
No, it ain't his fault.
That was his fault. I had the worst baby daddy ever.
So you was in a relationship. So you was in a relationship by yourself.
No, but he wasn't shit.
No,
he wasn't shit.
So if he wasn't shit, why did you choose him?
Anthony, who hurt you?
I'm not hurt.
Not all women are like this, Anthony.
I'm not hurt at all, man.
Maybe you just had a bad relationship. That's why you're trying to talk to women like this, Anthony.
I don't want this to get lost in the sauce. Just because you've had sex with a guy or you had sex with a woman doesn't mean that you have to stay with this person. And if you're in, let's say you say, hey, we got in a relationship and things are starting to go not in the direction you thought it was going to go. Like I am keen cutoff. I learned how to let people go when what they portrayed to me to be true isn't no longer true. And it's like, hey, I got in this situation thinking that you were one way, but you're a different way. So why stay in a situation that I know is not going to end up in a positive way? Like the way you're going is not going to be where I'm going to end up. I know this. Why would I stay with you? Is it because you fathered my kids? Is it because it's more convenient to be with you? Because I live in your house now and I don't have as much responsibilities, and if I lost my job, the responsibilities don't fall on me. Like, there's a lot of conveniences in there, right? So I'll stay with you and still treat you like shit, like it's your fault if things don't work out. And I'm not saying that because I can't speak for every relationship. But when I talk like this, I'm talking about in generalities when people stay in bad relationships because they find themselves either leaving a relationship and then getting into another one so soon because they needed a soft landing. And what I hate for guys is that they don't know because they don't ask these questions. They don't ask how long you was in a relationship and when did it end. They don't ask these questions because it's too intrusive, right? You're offending her. Like, that's none of your business. Why are you asking about my old relationships?
Well, the short answer to that, though, Anthony, is men are not asking those questions because it's intrusive. We live in a world where 97% of the men out there do not vet women at all.
At all.
As long as they're getting sex, they're pretty happy.
Yeah.
And that's how they end up going to only one restaurant to get food. And that's how they end up in bad relationships. That's how they end up with single moms. Yeah, that's how they end up in bad relationships. Or even worse, they end up with single moms. But I want to get back up on what you were saying.
Yeah.
Fellas, when Anthony says you have not been in a relationship for a year, there's a couple problems with that. And I'm going to call you out on this, Anthony.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let's just say they haven't been in a relationship for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You and I know, and this is like high school education for you and I know that is a tone of promiscuity. So, fellas that are listening that don't understand what I'm saying, when a woman says she hasn't been in a relationship for a year, she's been riding a whole lot of dicks for a year. Just so you know. Yeah, because women are real clever.
I don't care about that, though, as much, Wesley, because I understand
I don't care about it as much either, to be honest. As long as it's not in my circle, I can put on my blinders a little bit.
I talked about this earlier when I said, ladies, if that's who you are, be you, live your fucking life. I don't care. But if you put it in my face, because a lot of times a woman will get drunk and tell all the truth, right?
Oh,
and
really?
all of a sudden, I know you've been riding a lot of dick, and now I gotta ask myself, like, well, how much?
Well, it's unattractive.
Well, no, because my thing is this: if you're that loose lips on some drinking, and that's what gotten you to say this shit. Now I know that anything I say to you could potentially be out there and we no longer work out, right? So now I got to treat you just like those guys treated you and just pump and dump your ass.
Yeah, life hack, ladies. Talking about being promiscuous to a guy, just so you know, it's, you ever this is the only thing I can compare it to. You ever you're with a really, really beautiful woman, you go to have sex with her the first time, she's not well groomed. Below the waist.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're just like, whoa. Like, it's like record screech moment. And you're like, whoa, that's unattractive. That's the same thing as if they start talking about being promiscuous. It's just unattractive to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't handle the truth and you can't handle. Okay, ladies. No. Men need to be able to handle the truth. Tell us in detail. And then he put his dick in my mouth, and my lips were going over the head of it. And you see what I'm saying? Exactly. Your eyes got wide, Anthony. Like, nobody wants to hear about your sexual escapades except maybe your girlfriends, but especially not the guy you're dating. Do what you want to do, ladies. It's your world. Listen, but just know that he's unattractive. Know that you're making him unattracted, and you're going on the road to nowhere.
Yeah, I've been in situations with this where women have just told me all the guys they've been with, and I'm like, I'm never gonna date you. Like, in my mind, as she's telling me, I'm automatically like, we'll never be in a relationship. Like, I know this because you're giving me too much information about that. Like, I didn't ask you about the shit. You voluntarily, and guess what? I know you're not giving me all of it, right? You're only giving me your portion. And I've heard women say sex with certain guys didn't count for A, B, C reason, right? And it's like, wait, that dick didn't count? How that dick didn't count?
Yeah, so you said, hey, they've been out of a relationship for a year, so automatically my head kind of goes to, so they've been on the dick carousel for a year.
Let's say this, man. When I talk about relationships, I mean this. I know they're not out here being fucking celibate for the time that they're not in a relationship.
But I think some of our listeners don't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, for the guys that don't know, okay.
I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't really notice it till Donovan Sharp started pointing it out.
Yeah, I think Corey Wayne let that be known to me. Mm-hmm. It's more of a softer. It's more palatable, right?
Yeah.
For a blue pill guy. Because let's be honest, Corey Wayne say a lot of blue pill shit too. Now, but I think that because he can reach a lot more people that way. But because let's just be real, red pill is not easy shit. You can't just listen to this conversation and it makes you comfortable. You're all ooey gooey on the inside. No, this shit makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would compare like regular everyday media. I would compare that to, the stuff that quote unquote doesn't offend people, get under their skin. Yeah. I would compare that stuff to like a morning show,
right?
Like a Good Morning America type show. Oh, it's a squirrel that can water ski. Oh God, look at this squirrel that can water ski. Just that water cooler,
right?
Corporate humory shit. When you really take a step back and look at it, you're like, God, this show is shit. What the hell? Yeah. Our show is more like
HBO.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Motherfuckers getting their heads cut off. Like, right. We're doing it specifically to help people to deal with reality, But the other side of women that haven't been in a relationship for a year, Anthony, immediately just came to my head. That's kind of not how women operate. They usually they usually swing from one branch to the next. Like we talked about last episode, if they're in a relationship, they're setting up their male orbiters, so that they can swing from one branch to the next, so that they feel safe.
They're not setting them up; they're there already.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah,
these blue pill.
The thing is that. Well, listen to this though, like, because I have conversation with quote unquote single women, and they will immediately try to nullify any possible way that there are other men in their life. Like
are you being serious?
Oh, 100, man.
Bitch, we know better. You're on Tinder. You're on Bumble. You're on OkCupid. Like, we know. Oh my God!
If I wasn't a good question asker, I would assume that these ladies have been celibate and not dating anyone. They've been waiting.
Oh, sorry.
They've been waiting for me to show up and ask them out. Yeah, and when I used to be blue pill, I believed it. I believed that I was the only guy that they were waiting for to ask out, right? And I'm such a great conversationalist that I'm the only guy they're talking to.
They just been sitting there waiting for you.
Waiting for me, man. I guess it was
They were waiting for Wesley to just finally swipe right.
And when I've gone on these dates, and it's funny, man, my attention span, and let's say this, when I go on a date now, I go out on a date to enjoy myself as well. Before, I was going out trying to impress them.
Yeah.
So it's my approach to dating has changed. So I'm not, even if I go out with you and you happen to be someone I don't want to see after that, I'm still going to have a good time.
Yeah. Well, and that's Corey Wayne 101, right?
Yeah.
For you and I.
Yeah.
Again, guys, How to Be a 3% Man. We always recommend
Those are the
that
basics,
book.
man. You got to get to the basics.
And, yeah, I mean, we always recommend that book. Like you said, you got to get back to the basics. And again, that's the basics of How to Be a 3% Man, the book by Corey Wayne that really, I think, led... I know, Anthony, that was the first book that you gave to me to lead me on this path. Now, Anthony, we had one other thing we wanted to talk about today that we'll kind of roughly transition into. Because a lot of women are going to accuse us of having the Wesley and Anthony He-Man Woman Haters Club. But let's talk about some facts. You know what, Anthony? I was talking about, far be it from me to beat up on women. Far be it from me to make women feel bad about themselves and be mean to women. Let's talk about serving our community, Anthony. You know what I wish? You know what I wish existed? We have so much technology available to us today. And now that I'm a father and I have this beautiful baby girl and we have all this technology available to us, I wish we could form a system where if a child went missing, we could inform the community that, like, hey, someone abducted my child. Let's all as a community be looking out for my child so we can get our children back. Let's get them back home. Let's get them back to the parents. We have the technology. I mean, Anthony, I see on overpasses, I see some signs where you can put traffic information up and stuff like that. Yeah. What if we use these signs to help find our children? What if we used all this technology available to us to put out maybe an alert or
Amber Alert?
What do you mean? What are you talking about, Amber Alert?
Yeah, Amber Alert. They got those.
Wait, Anthony, explain to me, what is an Amber Alert? Maybe I don't know about this.
So, everybody, I mean, you can hear it on the phones, the annoying sound of something's happened. Somebody's grandmother is missing in a gray pickup truck.
No, I'm talking about just for kids. Just for kids.
Yeah, for kids too. Yeah. It's mainly for kids.
Wait, you're telling me that there's a system called the Amber Alert that already exists?
Yes.
That would help us find kidnapped children?
Yes.
Using the technology. What? You said it goes to our phones?
Yes.
Is this true?
Yes. And there, like you said, signage on the freeway.
What?
Yep.
This is amazing.
Helping everybody out.
Oh, my God. This would be such a huge help for our community. I hope nobody messes it up.
Okay, where you going, man?
Well, I know what Amber Alerts are. And this is such a great idea in the community to be able to find missing children if women didn't mess this whole system up.
Wait.
If you
How
want
are women messing this up?
Well, if you want to go to protection1.com where it has the statistics of...
Oh, you coming with facts. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't like the way statistics make me feel, Anthony.
Hey, facts over feelings.
Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings, ladies and simps out there. Let me tell you how women have hijacked Amber Alerts, Anthony. Because this is such a great tool in our community to be able to find children that are abducted and kidnapped.
Okay, man.
So let's look at the real statistics. All right, when I'm thinking about... Anthony, let me just ask you. to bring my opinion just yet. When you think about a child being kidnapped, what do you picture in your head? What are you picturing?
A van.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm picturing some duct tape.
Right.
And kid getting tied up. And,
right.
Uh-oh. I'm picturing like those worst 80s movies and
right.
ABC after school specials. And I'm thinking of, oh my God, human trafficking.
Station wagon.
Massage parlors.
Right.
They're going to take the kids overseas.
Where is my child?
We need to find our child. No. Women have messed Amber Alerts up.
Wait, Wesley. You said women?
Women have ruined this system. So now when you're going down the freeway and you see Amber Alert for blah, 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 and you mentioned older people, that's a separate alert. That's a silver alert.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And which is hilarious in itself. That just means an old person got lost. But I digress. No, Amber Alert abductors, women have ruined this. Because if you look at the statistics, Anthony, again, we're on protection1.com that has these statistics. Even their statistics are skewed with their language. Most common abductors in Amber Alert's reports. So, abductors, 43.43% of the abductors are the dad. God damn it, man.
Wait. The father of the kid.
The father of the kid has the kid. That's not duct tape and vans and people trolling neighborhoods. That's a pissed off baby mama because baby daddy didn't get the kid back home from visitation on time.
God.
Ladies, this is literally worse than the lady at McDonald's that calls 911 because they won't give her McNuggets. You talk about a wonderful system that would benefit our community. And how, ladies, y'all with your stupid emotional bullshit have hijacked the system. Let me repeat, so you know I own these words. Your stupid emotional bullshit, you've hijacked the system. Anthony, let me give you a better statistic.
Okay.
About how women have messed this up. 89.64% of Amber Alerts, the child is with a family member. Now, well, Wesley, hold on. Couldn't it be the dad that's calling the police and putting out an Amber Alert? Ladies, no. Because we don't think like you. Men don't call the cops for bullshit. We just don't do it. This is you. So the statistic here, 43.43% are with the father. That's not a kidnapping, you dumbasses. We got to have an Amber Alert just for kidnappings. And we got to have a fucking pissed off baby mama alert. Because, Anthony, when 89.64% of these Amber Alerts, the kids are with a family member of some kind, guess what? Now the Amber Alerts are fucking white noise, and now we don't know if people are really kidnapped.
Right. 90% of it is not even
mad
legit.
Women angry and calling the cops.
Wow.
Basically, Karen has taken over Amber Alerts. Motherfucker, man.
And I can see this, man. I hate to even put race into this, but I can. And
they're gonna beat me up for
easily-
dogging out single moms, Anthony. They're gonna dog me out for beating up on single moms. when single moms have ruined the Amber Alert system.
They put emotions into something that could be a very effective system. And like you said, this white noise. I don't take an Amber Alert seriously. I'm trying to turn that shit off.
Yeah, because it's just now.
Because I wonder if there's any statistics on have they recovered anything? Because if 90% of this shit is false, only 10% have any legitimacy to it.
Oh, Anthony, Wesley, you just don't know. A lot of times, the dad
It's trying to kidnap their own child.
Is trying to kidnap their own child. Man, shut up. They're trying to move and kidnap the child and move across state lines and really to the tune of 43.43%.
So many. I've heard this epidemic, Wesley, of so many men taking their kids across state and never be.
There's
heard
an epidemic. We got to stop it, right?
Yeah.
It happens every day, doesn't it? To the tune of angry women. Now, I know what you're going to ask. What about what percentage was it with the mom? And by the way, we have that percentage. It's 24.49%. Okay? So
less than half.
That means the dad's calling the cops on the mom.
By
again.
half. Half.
Yeah, no, that's the new dad's stepmom that's calling. It's women calling cops, everybody.
Man.
Men don't call the cops.
Oh, my
on nobody.
gosh.
Men don't. You know when men call the cops? When someone's breaking into their house, that's kind of it. Or the angry old man next door if you play your music too loud. These motherfuckers, man. They have taken the Amber Alert system and hijacked it. Crazy, emotional women. And Anthony, this is the segment that we're going to do weekly called This Is Still Why Women Can't Be President. Women still cannot be president. If you take the Amber Alert system, which is great for our community, and hijack it, women in 2019 still can't be president. Sorry, Anthony. I went on a little... I'm passionate about this, man. Anthony's looking at me like, oh, my God, poor Wes.
I understand the premise, and I understand why it upsets you. I haven't had the cops called on me, but I have been called, threatened about it. Like, where's my child? Like, this only is their child, and that I somehow or for some reason is going to put my child in danger because I'm a few minutes later than I should be in returning my child. Right?
Meanwhile, this bitch shows up to work late 3 times a week. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Jesus Christ.
But to call the cops, man, that's a special kind of hatred, right? And you know where that hatred probably comes from? It comes from she's gotten a glimpse of his life after her.
Yeah, he's got a hotter chick. Yeah, she's mad.
Yeah,
and so she's going to use our police and all of our resources in our community that we're all paying tax dollars for because she's angry.
Right.
By the way, Anthony, I just did the math for you. 67.92% of all Amber Alerts. That's nearly 70%. The child's either with the mother or the father.
Wow.
I can't, Anthony. Wow. I'm about to flip this desk over. I'm serious. I can't. I fucking can't even with this. They have. Oh my God. Women have and like I said, you're like, oh, but 24.49% is with the mom. That means the dad called the cops. No, that means the dad's new wife called the cops. And what it means is y'all are crazy and you still can't be president. Y'all think, since y'all hijacked the Amber Alert system, you want us now to give you what? The ability to control where our nuclear weapons are flying?
But Wesley,
Jesus.
You're doing a lot of assuming here where you think
not all
that
women.
It's not. You think that men aren't taking their kid without the mother's permission?
I do believe that exists. And that's probably 0.08%. Certainly not 43.43%. Man, we would, just like you said earlier, Anthony, we would have like an epidemic on our hands.
Right.
It would be, if it's 43.43%, that would mean like some crazy number like.
It ain't me. Yeah, I'll guarantee you this. This is why I say it's true, what you're saying. And everybody that's like trying to like shun what Wesley is saying. If that was true that men are spending too much time with their kids beyond the time allotted, then women wouldn't have this men ain't shit routine to talk about.
See, I disagree. I think it's both. I think you get them home late, meaning you're spending more time, and then they get to complain that you're not spending enough time and that you ain't shit. They get it all the way around. I'm seriously, Anthony, all joking aside, I cannot believe women have, with their craziness, you should have to take, man, before you dial 911, you should have to take an IQ test. Before you call the police, you should have to take a fucking IQ test because these women, they have hijacked the Amber Alert system.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm talking to all you ladies that would never do this, these women are making you look bad, ladies. You need to figure out with your covert communication.
Self-police.
Come out with a handbag where, like, that's what we're going to do, Anthony.
Bitch, stop being stupid. That's what I need to say. Fuck Chanel and Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, ladies, what we're going to do, because y'all covertly communicate to each other with your handbags, red pill phone tap, we're going to come out with handbags so that they know you are sane and you would never call the cops on your baby daddy by carrying this handbag. They're going to know you're one of the normal ones. You're one of the ones that don't let their emotions allow them to hijack a government program. A government program, Anthony, assisting kids from getting kidnapped by strangers.
So you're trying to tell me that women are purposely calling the cops to report their child being abducted by their own co-parent?
I would say they're calling. I would say this. Instead of working this out with the father, they're going to try to get the father in some sort of weird trouble. And don't email us your personal stories. Well, one time my friend's cousin, the dad took him for visitation, and he was supposed to return on Sunday, and he did return on Sunday. 5 months later, come on, Wes. Don't give me your weird outlier stories. Any person with a damn brain would tell you that 43.43% men ain't abducting their damn kids. They got to be at work on Monday.
Yeah.
They got a whole life. They can't just run off and kidnap their own kids.
Yeah.
And, man, talking about what a valuable system the Amber Alert system would be if people would just stop fighting with their ex and just treat this with some seriousness. Now when I'm driving down the road and there's an Amber Alert, I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck that means. Meanwhile, someone really is getting sold into sex trafficking or some bullshit. And I'm asleep at the wheel as a citizen in the community because I'm tuned out because these fucking crazy women.
Because it is true. Kids get abducted. And not just little kids. I mean, in their teens, there are especially women. They get abducted and let's not. And I don't want to get into any conspiracy theories and shit like that. But there is a black market for organs. So and using younger kids' organs is because they're most likely more healthier than an adult that's smoking and drinking and all that shit. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for kids' organs.
Well, they're also an easier target.
Yeah, they're exactly.
Not as big in stature.
Right.
Can't defend themselves as
well.
So
we're not saying that Amber Alerts aren't real, but
I'm just saying
when 90% of it is fucking domestic disagreements with your emotions because he didn't get them back in time in order for you in your mind. He needs to be in bed by a certain time and he came back.
So let's call the cops.
Yeah, let's call the fucking cops and say he's been abducted because he's not answering my call.
Bitch, will you call your caseworker and just report the activity? Dad's constantly getting them back late.
Yeah.
That is not something you should involve the Amber Alert system for.
But I need records of proof, Wesley.
Oh, God. Everybody's got a goddamn camera phone now. It's easy to have proof of everything now.
Yeah.
God damn it. I mean, unbelievable. Women want to be president, but they can't even handle the Amber Alert system that benefits children. Unbelievable.
That's
Hey,
sad.
Anthony, we're coming towards the tail end of the podcast.
Yep.
Now, you had a story to tell me. You said somebody was particularly touched by something we said in the podcast that they had also experienced.
Yeah.
Now we saved this for the podcast because you hadn't told me yet.
Yeah, it's not too much in depth, but they heard your story about you being abused by a step parent, and they
My God, this sounds terrible because it sounds like I just brought this up just to like pat my own back.
No.
I didn't. I didn't mean to bring. Sorry, listeners. I did not mean to put it in that light. I promise.
No, they've been through something similar. So when they heard your story, they were touched. They were like, "Wow, I've been through that before," and they thought they were alone. And that's why when we talk about this podcast helping other people, you know, a lot of times, man, we're told to keep kind of our deep, dark secrets inside, and that we can't talk about things that affect us mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and you know, we have to deal with those things on our own, and when you don't, you know, and especially as men, you're definitely told not to express yourselves in the manners where you are looked at as being weaker because something's happened to you that affects you to this day. Especially as a kid, you know, you don't know any better. You don't know what's actually wrong or bad morally because you're still learning, you know, how to even live life. So if that's part of your life, you just think that is what life is. And then when you get older and those things still affect you because you never got to talk it out or deal with it, you know, in a healthy way, someone else talking about it actually is like, wow, I'm not alone. This has happened to other people, and they've been able to get over it in whatever manner they've been able to. It gives them hope to be able to either be more freely to talk about it or actually reach out and say, hey, I've been dealing with this too. How did you get over it? Or if you're not over it, how are you dealing with it on a daily basis?
Yeah, and so a topic I'm really, really passionate on is family violence and family sexual misconduct. Yeah. I'm really passionate about it, and to touch on your point, these people get to hide and get away with all this shit inside of families.
Yeah.
Because
those are the perpetrators on a high percentage level. Yeah.
Well, not only are they close to close to the person percentage wise, but the reason they get away with it is because we don't talk about it.
Yep.
You know, I'll always, you know, and I'll joke with the audience. You'll probably hear me say, my stepmother, there's nobody on planet Earth that gives a better blowjob than my stepmother. Because, I mean, must be.
Has to be the only reason.
Has to be the best blowjob ever, because my father abandoned his paternal instinct to protect his son. So for those of you that didn't listen last week, I did share with the audience, I grew up in a very physically violent household. And just to be specific and to talk about it so that this person doesn't just get off scot-free, my stepmother, when I was 5 years old, would beat me up on a 5-day-a-week basis because my father would be at work. She wouldn't do it in front of my father, and
Coward.
Yeah. So she would strangle me, pick me up by the neck, strangling me against the wall, throw me on the ground, stomp on me. She's a grown adult. I'm a 5-year-old boy. Stomp on me, pull me around the house by my hair, hit me over the top of the head as a little boy. with a broomstick, leaving all kind of knots in my head. Multiple times had to go to the hospital for stitches because she cut me open so bad. Broke my arm one time when I was a little boy.
How the fuck is your dad not noticing this shit?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Blowjobs are a hell of a drug, I guess.
Apparently.
Because he was in total denial. Everyone at my school would see bruises, stitches. Child Protective Services got involved. My grandparents tried several times to get custody of me to get me out of the situation. And every time, my father believed my stepmother. To this day, I don't know if he still believes her or not. To this day, they're both still alive. They're both still married, by the way. And she went on to mentally abuse her own two kids, but did not physically beat them up. But this went on in my life until even after I got large enough to defend myself when I was in high school. I could not protect myself because if I even raised my hand, she would then get my father involved and act like a total victim. So I actually had to leave home early at 16 years old. So because the house was so violent, not just physically abusive, but mentally abusive. So I will tell you, Anthony,
yeah, it's never just physically abusive.
Right. Because you're a captive in this person's deal. And when you're a child, one of the worst things you have to do is constantly remember the stuff you made up about the injury that you have, whether it be a black eye or a broken arm in one case, or stitches, or my grandparents took photos. She would take a belt and beat me across the back, and there'd just be like whelps across my back. How my father, again, the blowjobs must have been good, because how my father allowed this to happen
to your own flesh and blood.
To your own flesh and blood. This resonated with me a lot after I had godchildren, because I would see them at the same age that I was when I was just getting close-fist punched in the face. Strangled is the big one. Like strangling a child, I don't know how you could do that. But the reason I bring it up is not to make you feel bad for me, because trust me, the way I live my life now is sometimes I'll just kind of think about, like right now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I'm kind of glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't let it make me violent. I do think that the reason that I became a fighter was probably finally making sure I wanted to escape that fear of being physically taken advantage of. But then I just went and learned how to be a fighter. So now I have that confidence. So it doesn't really rule my life, but I always passionately want to talk about it and bring it forward to do what you were talking about, which was encourage other people to come forward and be like, hey, this happened. And if anybody wants to email us their personal stories about that, we'd love to talk about it here on the show. We would love to out these people. My stepmother, my father, who facilitated the violence of my stepmother. My father was never violent with me, but my father facilitated it. So I blame him a whole lot more. Neither of them served any prison sentences, jail time, none of that. No sentences served, nothing. So the only thing that we can do as people that have been victims of domestic stuff like this, especially as children, the only thing we can do is talk about it. That way that they don't live in secrecy. So it means a lot to me that somebody said that, Anthony. It really does. I'm really passionate about that. And hopefully that person, I'm curious, was it a guy or a girl?
Female.
Really? Okay. So I'm really, hopefully she understands. Hopefully she's listening. And she understands how much it means to me that she shared that, because I think that's the key is illuminating this. And that's kind of the key. I don't mean to have malice when we sit here and we talk about our feminist society and the way women are gaming the system, either be it with the single mom system or any of these. What we're trying to do, everybody, is not be mean, not trying to, just get clicks by people being angry. What we're trying to do is illuminate the truth. Jimmy Fallon's not going to do it for us on his Tonight Show. None of these, Good Morning America is not going to talk about how single mothers are baiting down men and making their lives miserable. So we got to do it. We got to take it upon ourselves. And we're hoping if we illuminate these issues, that we can bring the truth forward, and then we can all change.
Well, we can stop it from being a normal practice.
Oh, I love, man, Anthony, will you please repeat that?
We can stop this from being normalcy. We cannot allow what's happening to be something that seems legit when it's not. And men, what we talked about earlier, is not trying to scare the pussy away, man. And it's you gotta be a little bit more. Because I want to be careful, right? Because we talk about this. It's only 3% of men that know how to be men. And
man, if we could raise that 1 more %, then this podcast has done its job.
Right.
If Corey Wayne ever had to retitle his book,
right,
How to Be a 4% Man,
right,
because 1% of men got better.
Awesome.
They learned the game single moms are running on them.
Yeah.
They learned how to take the red pill and follow their purpose first, and then bring their family forward.
Wow.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get accused of woman hating. Anthony doesn't hate women. I know him. I've known Anthony for years. He's been my best friend a long time. I don't hate women. I have a daughter. I have a wife. I love them both.
Yeah, you'll be contradicting yourself by saying
I don't
you
hate
women. It's not true.
No. I have a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. But my wife, she would sit right in here and she would tell you, I'm the colonel. And the colonel has a lot of responsibilities, including our newborn that we have in the house. But she's the colonel. I'm the general. That's the only way that this stuff can work. She also knows it's the only way she can be happy. When women have to take over and become the general, it leads them on a road that ends in unhappiness.
This is why single moms are so unbalanced, because they're in charge of everything.
And single moms, if you're listening, it makes you miserable, doesn't it? Now, I'm not saying you don't get it together, because when we're talking to all single moms, Anthony, we have to include there's some single moms that are killing it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some single moms that are killing it. And unfortunately, we made this analogy last week. No matter how many orphanages Hitler donated money to, he's always going to be known for the fucking genocide. Okay? So if you're a single mom and you're killing it, you're gonna be lumped in with these piece of shit single moms who don't care for anybody in the world other than their own reproductive strategies, that only care about themselves, that are hypergamous to the fact where they're switching in beta male providers. I mean, I appreciated you taking care of me and my kids, but I met this other dude and he makes $5,632 more a year. So I'm going to go hang. Yeah. None of these kids are going to grow up and be like, man, my step parents were that one stepdad I had for like two years and 3 months. Man, I really give him a lot of credit. No, fellas.
Never. Never in the history of step parenting have a child remembered you from no, because that mom is going to take all that credit 100%.
And never in the history of step parenting has a man said, man, that single mom changed my life.
In the negative, maybe.
that single mom changed my life for the better. No, you had to go into a murder scene of a failed relationship. I don't know why I love that analogy so much.
Because I think because I see, when you say that, I see yellow caution tape.
Yeah.
I see chaos in the background. People are...
I see a camera's flashing.
Right. Parents like, do you see this? This is not normal. This shouldn't be happening. We should take careful. And that, as a man, if you're ignoring these signs, these are red flags everywhere. You're ignoring these signs, you are legitimizing women for being okay with letting go of a guy who she had a kid with. Because let's think about it.
Wait,
ladies,
Anthony, will you stop there?
Okay.
Okay, because you just hit such a good point.
Yeah.
I want men to think about that. Are men vetting a woman going, why did she let go of a guy she had a child with?
Yes.
But there could be a good reason.
Yeah.
There could be.
Yeah.
But are men even asking
No.
themselves that question?
Nope. They just want the pussy, man. They just want the pussy, man.
Guys, we have to transcend beyond we just want sex. Oh, God.
It's women out here just giving you sex. Get them. Go get them. But don't get into
Don't
a
boo 'em-
whole
don't boo 'em up.
relationship.
Yeah.
Don't get in a fucking relationship, man. With these women who are out here. And guess what? Guess what, guys? If you're a guy, because I know a guy who all his relationships are single moms. And he goes through the fucking ringer, man. He gets emotionally involved. He's distraught. He's worried about the kids' welfare.
Because we as men, we get attached to kids.
Easy. I know I do. I love
know
my
I do
own
too.
kids.
I know I do
I
too.
love my own kids, and I know this for a fact. I was dating a chick. She had, I think, 3, 4. I can't fucking remember, man. The longer I knew her, the more kids I found out she had. This is how this worked, man.
Wait. What? Wait. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Hold on. Did you just say the longer you knew her, the more you found out kids that she had?
So,
oh my God. Holy shit, man. You're like
when
month 3. Hey, I got a third kid.
No.
Like month 7. Oh yeah, I got a 7th kid too.
No, because I'm a question asker, she had to reveal this shit, right? So, I'm having a conversation with her, and you know our rules. We don't use the phone for conversation, man. We use the phone
to set appointments,
dates, right? So, sometimes online when you meet someone, you have to, modify these rules. And if you read the book, you know, we can probably go in more detail, and we probably do on another podcast. But the first time she told me, she just admitted to 3 kids. And those are the kids that lived with her at the point in time, right? But she had 2 other kids that were older that wasn't living with her. So in her mind, she only had 3 kids because those are the ones that lived with her. And had I known she had 5 kids,
you meant all my kids,
right? All my children will continue in a moment
after these messages. All my children will continue after date 3. Oh my God, man! Hey, this is like you're over at her house. I can't make this shit up, man. You're over at her house. Your phone falls in between the couch cushions. You reach in there. There's a kid in there.
Hey,
oh my God!
Who's this fucking kid?
Oh yeah, I forgot I had that kid. You go to get something out of the pantry. You're feeling a little bit hungry during Netflix and chill. You open the pantry. 2 kids run out. Look. Hey, what are these? Oh yeah, I forgot I had those kids too.
Listen, man, I hope she never hears this shit. Honestly, man. I mean, we're not keeping in touch, nothing, but like, it did feel like a little bit of like, manipulative, conversation when someone can't reveal who they are, right?
Yeah.
If you got that much something hot, like if you feel like keeping your kids is not a bad secret, like something's wrong with you, I think. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, once you've had 5 kids, this is old hat now.
You just
well, I might have a kid next month. I don't know. I don't know. I might pop out 7 or 9 or 26. I don't know, man.
Well,
just whatever.
Think about it. For me, I'm like, one, I'm not gonna be the next child giver in this because you give out litters. You don't have kids. You have a litter at this point. In my mind.
I know. And the difference between men and women when it comes to children, women view kids as money coming in. Men view kids as money going out.
100.
I mean, that's the difference. Women, I mean, they've got the government there. They've got child support coming in. That's money coming in for them. With men, that's money going out. And I'm talking about in failed crime scene relationships.
And not only money, man. You're talking about time invested when you have to have a relationship. Because if you don't just have a, like when the lady said, it's a whole package deal, right? We do understand that, ladies. It's not remiss upon it. We don't not know that. So I gotta have a relationship with all the
I was
different
about to say, don't
persons.
we all know that, Anthony? But no, I think you really do have to explain. We do know that. Yeah.
Hey, we do have to. Yeah, we do have to explain it because apparently
This just in, we know it's a package deal. In a related story, the earth is round. Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
you talk about the different personalities of each kid, right? That you have to relate to and get along with if you decide to be
Anthony, if you were a real man, you'd step in and you'd help those kids.
And it's not step up, by the way. It's stepping in because the previous fathers are never completely out of the picture. I don't give a fuck what she tells you. If that guy's alive and local, he's in the picture.
And those kids are going to love him way more than they'll ever love you. And it's just the facts.
Man,
Tell
you
yourself,
a story
fellas,
about this shit?
fellas, tell yourself something differently if it helps you sleep at night. Tell yourself something differently.
I don't even think we have time to even go into this story, but no, we don't. So yeah. I'll say this.
Well,
man.
hold on. Let's so that we don't forget it. Let's jot it down for next time because I do have some things to tease. Go ahead and tease the story.
Yeah. So I know a guy who was with a woman that he knew the daughter since she was 9 years old, and when she got married, he paid for the wedding and all that. And once she got married, I'll just tell a story, make it real short. Once she got married, and you know he was agreed to walk down the aisle, then like a couple of days before the wedding, guess who shows up? Biological father shows up, and he wants to walk her down the aisle. So she breaks the news to the stepfather who raised her most of her life that she's going to walk down the aisle by far. Now, she didn't choose to even go by both and say, hey, both of you guys are important in my life. She chose to go with the biological father.
Now, I want to, because we got a few more minutes. I want to break down what really happened there, and this is how women are. So she loves the stepfather more. She had to because she spent the most time with him, right? Children never appreciate their parents. We get it. But you know what I really think that was? She wanted the shock value to everybody that attended the wedding, like, her biological father. Whoop! Oh, I subverted your expectations. Everybody's going to be talking about this.
You think so?
Oh, I do. I know that that's a big part. She may have loved her real father more because that's kind of the nature of kids. But I guarantee you a big part of that decision was to surprise everyone there at the wedding. And then they're going to be talking about her. She's going to get so much shine.
So that's a different aspect for me because I didn't think that would even come across her mind. Like, I guess I'm not giving.
Well, no, we got to talk about this next week.
Yeah.
So let's tease a few more things we're going to get into next episode, fellas. We're going to follow up the single moms episode by next time we talk, which will be next week. We're going to try to release these every Tuesday. Tuesday is the day we release these. We're going to talk about vetting women, strategies for vetting women, and how important vetting women is.
Yes.
Because I've noticed, Anthony, we've come to guys not doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to finally get, for those of you in our 30 Plus the Renaissance Facebook group, we're going to get to the women's argument tree.
Oh, I'm going to love this so much.
Oh, boy. We're going to talk about, for those of you that don't know about my women's argument tree, we're going to talk about all the strategies, there's only 7, that women use when they argue while not talking about the subject matter you're trying to talk about. This is how they dumbly argue all around it and all their strategies so that you recognize these strategies when they try to do this dumb bullshit to you.
Cut them off at the knees.
Yeah. Anthony, I'm pretty proud of this episode. What are you thinking, man?
Man, I'm just glad we got it done. We got it started. I think we're going to help a lot of people out there.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you listening in, and feel free to comment. Hey, get interactive with us, man. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know how you enjoyed it. If you hated it, we don't care. We just want to know you're listening.
Anthony, such a good point. Please interact with us. YouTube comments. We're available on Spotify now, which I know that's a lot easier for people to listen to on their headphones. I promise, as we get better at the technical side of this, we're going to make this a lot more interactive for you. If you disagree with us, hey, you're part of the conversation too.
Yes.
We are never going to shy away from people disagreeing with us. We are making the commitment to you now. If you disagree with us, you will always be heard here at the Red Pill Phone Tap. Anthony, anything else for the listeners?
No, thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Red Pill Phone Tap.